Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
Neves brings it down on the volley. Oh, you must be kidding me! Ruben Neves has just struck a sensational goal. Oh, it's turned in! It's the underdog doctor who arrives. Oh, the brilliant Belgian in the right place at the right time. Calls it all. That's unbelievable. Jean Martinho has whipped it into the far top corner. Can you believe this?
A very good evening and welcome to tonight's home of football. This is Stamford Bridge for Chelsea against Wolverhampton Wanderers on Matchday Live Extra from Wolves TV. I'm Mikey Burrows. The Hall of Famer Andy Thompson is not quite alongside me just yet. He has been stuck in a little bit of traffic, but our pundits from home, look at the face of Carl Ikeme there.
Traffic?
Yes, indeed. There is such a thing when you actually leave your house. Who knew?
Oh, is there? I thought,
Not many of us have left our houses that often in the last year or so. Carl Ikeme and Sam Ricketts are with us from home. Lots of people to get through between now and kick-off in just under 45 minutes' time. We will get to the team news very shortly, gents. There is an interesting addition on the substitutes bench. But first and foremost, I guess kind of some reflections and reactions on the last time out at Chorley, having had a couple of days to kind of look back on it all. Sam, it was kind of one of those where there were some positives that we tried to take after the game, and that's kind of what the team need to take first and foremost. They kept a clean sheet, they won the game, and they got something to build on.
Yeah, it wasn't an easy game. And we said before, ultimately, you just need to get through that round. It would have been lovely to win it 3 and 4-0, but 1-0 was enough. One bit of magic, Chorley, I think, probably had the better chances. John Ruddy made more saves, but ultimately, Wolves did what was needed. That would have bred confidence as it was. The clean sheet would have bred confidence. And then you're just trying to build on it in training now this week, and put another strong performance in tonight.
Carl Ikeme, we had an experiment with 2 up front for the game on Friday. Neither of them scored. They didn't really have that many efforts on goal. Tonight, we're effectively going with none up front. So there are plenty
Are you saying the 2 up front didn't work, mate? I can't deal with any more arguments about formations. Yeah, it's an interesting I think for any manager to do. I think when they don't go with a striker, and especially after Fabio scoring against Albion, it's a little bit of a surprise. But they're arguably 3 of our strongest players in the team as well. So maybe that's what he's thinking is in this, and trying to get all of them players on the pitch to cause some damage against the Chelsea side. And there's pace up there as well. So it'd be interesting to see what happens. I kind of think Adama will maybe go through the centre. But I think it's more the fact of getting them free on the pitch at the same time.
Yeah, he has done it before, and I guess most notably away at Liverpool, although, as Carl won't thank me for saying, there was a back 4 that night, but getting those 3 in there, I mean, it's the unusual circumstance where we might not have a striker on the pitch, but we have 3 of them on the bench. And Willian Jose is here. He is in the matchday squad. So all of a sudden, there are options to change it should he need to.
Yeah, that's something we've missed, hasn't it, Keanes, for a little while? We've not been able to make them changes from the bench. I think the reason he's gone with those 3 tonight is we'll play without the ball. We'll play deep, we'll play in our half, and we'll say to Chelsea, go on and break us down. But at any one point, you're saying to Traore, Neto, go. Opponents to be like the link man in between it, maybe play as a withdrawn 9 as such, and just break with pace. But come 60, 70, 80 minutes, he now has options from the bench.
We'll get back to the Wolves team news in just a second, but we do need to talk a little bit about Chelsea and obviously what's gone on here in the last couple of days. Thomas Tuchel's first match in charge. We can talk to former Chelsea man and, of course, regular on Chelsea TV and also on TalkSport as well. Jason Cundy, great to have you with us on Matchday Live Extra. Thank you for your company. You are miles higher in the stand than I am here. It looks colder from where you are. Surprised at what's gone on here last couple of days?
Good evening, guys. Surprised? No, not really. The timing bit, I was a little bit. I heard lots of rumours by a journalist called Simon Johnson, even from The Athletic, suggesting a couple of weeks ago that it was a question of when, not if, Frank was going to lose his job. When those rumours start circulating, more often than not, it turns out to be bad news. So I was surprised it happened on the Monday. I thought Frank might get this game and the game at the weekend against Burnley. But as we know in the past, when the decision is made here at Chelsea to release the manager of his duties, it normally is quite swift.
It's that element, I guess, isn't it, that from the outside, people always look at what goes on at Chelsea with a little bit of surprise. But you've been in and amongst it for so long that the levels of success that they want to get to require these kind of changes.
Yes, it works for us. We are the most dysfunctional football club that there is. You know, other clubs tend to go through what they call a project, and while things are going very well, the word project fits. It's when results don't go well, performances don't go well, that the word project kind of gets left behind a little bit. I think it works if fixtures are being won, performances are being put in, and fans are happy and the board are happy. I think as soon as things start changing, they did. But Frank had a brilliant first 12 months. He had a transfer ban. He had a squad of players that he was presented with. Yeah, we had Pulisic. He lost Eden Hazard, our best player for a number of seasons. And he got us into the top four. I thought at that time was the best he could have done. This season, he's now got an embarrassment of riches, £225 million worth of talent. And I think in some ways that probably hindered his decisions because the choice he had there, how do you fit in Havertz with Werner, with Ziyech, with Pulisic, with Callum Hudson-Odoi? Where do you play Havertz? Who do you play him with? Do you play him with Werner? Do you play him with Giroud? Do you play him with Tammy? And I think then those players up top have been his biggest problem. Conceding goals early part was an issue, which we tightened up. I thought we defended well. I thought we defended the box well from set pieces once he got Mendy in and Chilwell and Silva playing together. But I've got to tell you that results and performances really did start to take a turn for the worse. You guys were one of the teams that beat us. I think first half we done okay against you guys. Second half I thought we were dreadful. Credit to you. You went on to win the game that last minute goal with Neto. But that, I'm afraid, was becoming a pattern, becoming a feature. We beat West Ham here. You know, they were the best side for an hour. We beat 10-man Fulham. And to be honest with you, had it been 11v11, I'm not so sure we'd have put that 3 points.
Just to add to Chelsea, Jason, what's expected of them this season? Because from an outsider, I know you'd spent a lot of money, but I don't necessarily see that quality on the pitch to really go and win the league as well. So what is really expected from the Chelsea board and the fans?
Well, we don't really know what this quality is like. I've not seen Havertz put in the sort of performance that will tell you he's worth £75 million. I've not seen a performance from Werner that tells you he's worth, the thick end of 50. Ziyech comes with a big reputation, played Champions League football at Ajax. Whenever I saw him, he was an absolute baller. I haven't seen that yet. Tuchel's job is to win the Premier League. That's what his job is. No finishing second, third, fourth. It's to win the Premier League. And because it's been such a crazy season, although I think it's going to be difficult and probably, I'm not going to use the word impossible because that word doesn't kind of get used right now, but it's going to be very hard to get to the summit this season. But you know what? Top 4 is an absolute must, and that will be his remit right now.
Just to add to that, do you think that's possible with the current team, or do you still think he'll need another transfer window to do that?
For this season, you mean?
For this season and next?
Yeah, I think we've got enough. I think we've got enough here. I do. I genuinely think we've got enough here. I think there needs to be an addition. Certainly, I think we still need a striker to replace Giroud. We've really missed that Didier Drogba, that Diego Costa type of centre forward. You guys know with Jimenez what it means, how that focal point to your attack, how much it can change the way you play. But I don't think we're a million miles away. Havertz and Werner, that is going to be absolutely key. He's got to get those two somehow linking up with Ziyech and getting a performance out of those.
Jason, were you one calling for, you'd watched the games, were you one that's called in for a change, or were you wanting to give Frank more time? What was your thoughts on it?
I felt he deserved and needed a little bit more time. But the fall off in performances and was so dramatic. It was almost like someone turned a light off. And it wasn't gradual, it was off the edge of a cliff. And Arsenal away, I was at the Emirates on Boxing Day. I mean, it was so bad. Sometimes you come out of a game and you think, had that gone our way, maybe that. There was none of that. Like I said, we lost to you guys. Second half, we were shocking. Out here against West Ham for an hour. West Ham were the better side. And I say an hour, 15 minutes either side of that, we actually were the better side. And that was, we were more ruthless than that. I see performances against Fulham. Sam, they had gone bad. They had gone bad. I felt that he needed and deserved a bit more time for the reason I just highlighted about spending the money and having a fresh squad. And really, when you appoint a manager like Frank, you almost have to accept that there are going to be mistakes because he's learning on the job.
Do you think you just have too many players? You just have too many players to keep happy. Ultimately, I think that's what it comes down to. As soon as you start losing a few games, a couple of players start whinging and moaning. We all know what it's like, but he's got too many players who all expect to play. Is the way I looked at it. Even like Marcus Alonso have been ostracised, but he's still at the club. I see he's on the bench tonight. There's a few players who probably wanted out, but are still there, rumbling in the background.
Sometimes moving players out is just as difficult, if not harder, than getting them in.
Yeah.
And we have a very, very big squad, as our loanees will be testament to. But Tuchel's got the same squad now.
Yeah.
So he has now got to get on with it. And you know what? Only 11 players can play, and you've got to fight your way back into that team. And we all know the team today. Mason Mount has missed out. Mason's been brilliant for us. Well, he's now got to somehow, and he will, Mace, because he's a brilliant boy. But the team that he's picked today is not going to be the team for the rest of the season. So, new manager, we'd like to think it's going to be a fresh start, and hopefully a new start for all the players as well.
Would you want to see more
Sam, sorry, mate, we've got to move on because Jason's got to get back to Chelsea TV. We've had way enough of his time. He's got an actual job to do. Thank you very much, Jason. Really
guys, a pleasure. Thank you very much. Take care. Cheers, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Jason Cundy, of course, of TalkSport and Chelsea TV. It is an interesting debate, Sam. And, it's interesting listening to Jason talk about Chelsea and yourself there about the abundance of riches that they've had, because, we've been in this situation where we'd have loved to have had some of the players that have not been involved in this Chelsea squad. The element of almost having, Wolves are very much an example of a very small squad. Chelsea, they're very much the opposite extreme. Yeah,
Keens will know better than me, but I think under Nuno, really, they've been the complete opposite. Nuno's probably had a squad of 16-ish players, 16 or 17. They've had an unbelievable record of keeping them fit over the last couple of years. Chelsea are the opposite. They've probably got 25, 30 players. And I'm assuming the reason Nuno likes that is because he knows those players, he trusts them. They all know that they're going to be playing. If they're out of the team this week, there's a good chance they'll be involved. But you're only talking 3 or 4 players. That's it. At Chelsea, you've got top players who have won the Premier League. They've won big titles, not even in the squad. So that's where you get problems. I don't know. As a player, Keens, you'll probably be like me. You probably want a smaller squad and feeling tight rather than double the numbers and always feeling, or sometimes feeling ostracised from it.
Yeah, I think Sam makes a great point, and obviously he's been in the seat himself, so he knows that you can sometimes you'd want quality in the squad, but then too many is a problem as well, because how do you keep that harmony in the squad when you've got probably 10 players who are nowhere near playing? You've got a couple of players that are a bit disappointed about being on the bench, but can cope with it, and then you've got you can only play 11 players. Like, how would you keep that sort of harmony in a 25-man squad? Because we're looking at their bench, looking at the quality on our bench. Like, who else is there? There's another 10 players who aren't happy there as well. Do you know what I mean? So I think you've had players like Alonso and Azpilicueta, who's been in and out, Rudiger, a few others that have been there for a while who have not been playing as regularly as well. So there's always going to be unhappiness around the squad when you start bringing new players in and trying to keep that harmony. But that's why I think we can all. I've seen a few fans moan at how small our squad is, but I feel like it's probably a little bit too small. But I think too big is a problem, like Sam said.
Well, bringing it back from a Wolves point of view, and we'll put the team up in just a second of what Nuno has selected tonight. We were kind of half mentioning it beforehand about the fact that there is no actual out-and-out striker starting the game tonight. But Nuno has spoken in the past couple of days, Sam, about Patrick Cutrone, saying that, they're not looking necessarily to loan him out, that, he has an opportunity to try and force his way back in. So he's on the bench. He's also been talking up Fabio Silva in recent couple of days. So the quote from Nuno was not looking to loan Cutrone out, that he has his moments and he has his opportunities. Wolves, and also Raul Jimenez, big news in the press conference yesterday that Nuno is confident that he could well play again this season. So all of a sudden, you look at that lineup, and then you start to add in strikers, out and out strikers. Are we right to be a little bit more positive and confident looking ahead to this second half of the season?
Yeah, I think we're going through a little bit of a tricky period at the minute. We're just in a period where the team has been so settled, really, that Championship side into the Premier League, and with last season. This year, there's been quite a lot of activity. Look at the team now; it's different. There's new faces coming in, players being sold for one reason or another. But ultimately, when you have that smaller squad, they're playing together week in, week out, you get a real spirit. And not only that, you get an understanding of what your teammate wants, what's expected of you in and out of possession. And slowly, Wolves will get this back into with all these players, all the new signings. So we're in that little period where we're still adjusting, we're still learning. The new signings will still be learning how Nuno wants it, exactly how his teammate next to him plays. But long term, like you said, we've got some real quality there, some real quality. When Raul is back in fit, Fabio's only going to get better. Cutrone's got a chance to do it. Podence, Neto's really stepped up this season. Traore, if you keep hold of him, all of a sudden you start seeing a nucleus of, again, a real good 15 or 16 players again, which has been our strength. And if we can keep them all fit, it will be going forward as well.
One of the interesting elements from that team, Carl Ikeme, is the midfield too. Moutinho dropping to the substitutes bench, with Ruben Neves coming in to start after he was a substitute against Chorley. I think for many fans, if we're playing a two, that would be the two that many would go with. Is that something that you share?
I think Neves has been pretty good, to be honest. Even though we haven't got results, I think Neves has been probably one of our top players of the past couple of weeks. So you'd expect him to start more, and Dendonker's just got the legs. He's a box-to-box midfielder. He's needed, especially as you desire Neves to get on the ball and get us playing it a little bit more. You need someone with legs in there to break either box, to be tracking back. And Juan Moutinho is still a brilliant player to have in our squad. I don't think he can do it all the time. I don't think he can be expected of all the time. He's very experienced. He's got great control with the ball as well. But I think, especially at a game like Chelsea, where you know that you're going to have legs in your squad. You know they've got legs, and you know they've got youth and pace in there. I think Dendonker will always be in there, especially in these sort of big games against like the Chelseas and the top clubs.
There's an element, isn't there, Sam, where João Moutinho, look, he's a wonderful footballer. There's no doubting that. But he is 35 this year, and he's played over 800 games in his career. There is an element where at some point they are going to have to start to plan for life, where he is not a guaranteed starter. So if you have Neves and Dendonker and you're going with a two, maybe that's the two that you try and build a partnership with, and Moutinho comes in and out. Yeah,
definitely. And I think there's a lot of ways. I think if we're playing a three, Moutinho certainly would have been playing. So as a two, it's probably one where he can't play every game as it is anyway. You definitely, Keames is spot on. You need Dendonker's legs. He's in the team for Neves is there for his passing ability and everything. But Dendonker's the one, probably the unsung hero that all the players love playing with him, because he'll do all the little bits of, not brilliance, but all the interceptions, the tackling back, the sometimes making the box as well, popping up with the odd goal. But ultimately, he'll do all the dirty work to allow everyone else to play. So he's probably like a bit like maybe a Darren Fletcher was for Man United, someone like that. And Wolves, Neves isn't big legs, Moutinho isn't big legs. He's one who has big legs, especially when you're going to be outnumbered tonight, a 2 versus 3 in the middle, even though I expect us to be more of a 5-4-1. but you need him covering round for everyone else.
And I think also, just to add to Sam, I think over maybe the last year or so, it seems more like Dendoncker and somebody else than Neves or Moutinho, then rather than the other way around. I think Dendoncker's really worked his way to sort of, I wouldn't say cement his position, but I think they're looking at Dendoncker and looking who they can put with him, rather than looking at all three of them thinking, oh, well, maybe we can put Neves and Moutinho together. I don't think that will happen as often in games unless we really feel like we're going to be in possession a lot.
I don't know what you can spot. Look who's just arrived over my shoulder. Look at him.
Fine.
Yeah, absolutely. Sam Ricketts is fining you. We'll get him on in a second once he sets his computer up. This is an interesting period now, isn't it? Because we're halfway through, and you look at kind of teams and go, right, what is this Wolves team got in the locker? Where are they going to go from here on in? We obviously want them to improve. Nuno's talked an awful lot about making improvements, Sam, and he talks at the end of every game effectively and says, they see what needs to be done. And actually, I thought he was quite forthright after Chorley, and he kind of spoke about an element of kind of saying, we're not happy. We know that there are solutions. We have to find the solutions. We know what we need to do, and we didn't do them to the best of our abilities. That's quite open and honest for him normally.
Yeah, it was. And I think that probably has been in-house for a little while, and it's quite good, I think, that he's come out and said that. So at least everyone's aware. I do think it goes back to the point I made before, where we're still trying to blood new players into Wolves' way. And at the same time, he was half thinking about changing into a back four. Do I go into back four to try and improve us and go again? And we've come back to the back three tonight. I think the back three suits us better more than anything, because the players are so used to it. But then if we're going to do that, then embed all these new players. So we've got Willian obviously in the bench. Now he needs to join in and understand one system and get to know it really, really well, like the Wolves of last season. And it's a big reason of why they've done so well. It's because they were so used to playing their way. They're like a machine, doing it and doing it and doing it again. You watched every game. You can see the same patterns time and time again. And it's just getting back into that rhythm, I think. So the longer these group of players are together, the better the team will be. We're just going through a bit of a sticky period now, but listen, you want to get some results and get some confidence. But the longer we go on, the more excited I am by this group of players, definitely.
We're going to talk about the defensive unit as a whole in just a second with our next guest. But Carl Ikeme, Jason Cundy was mentioning about the fact that, that second half of the game against Chelsea, only just over a month ago back at Molineux, it feels like a lot longer, it was Wolves counter-attacking at their best. That's what we've come to know from this team of recent years. Do you anticipate tonight that will be a primary weapon, really, considering the three that's up top in the midfield?
Yeah, I think so. It looks that way. It looks like they're trying to be solid again. Not expecting to have too much of the ball, but I think even against United, we went back to the three as well, didn't we? And we tried to do the same, and ended up having some real good moments in the game. So I still think we can be attacking and threatening in around Chelsea's backs. But I think our main thing is now is to try and cut these errors out and keep clean sheets, because we were just making too many errors and giving needless goals away. And I think that it feels like, I don't know if I'm right or not, because I think the next few weeks will tell us the story, but it feels like Nuno's reverting back to this now, reverting back to a solid base, and we're going to play from here.
It just feels, though, like, you look at that team sheet, and you look at what we've got, and the wide players, plus Semedo and Aït-Nouri as well, doesn't feel like we're saying we're going to have the ball 20, 30 yards from goal and put crosses in. We're going to try and utilise Neto, Traoré, but then speed. They might have to go it alone sometimes, and that's going to be our primary route.
Yeah, definitely. And I think tonight actually suits that as well, because Chelsea are at home, they're going to be expected to come on, new manager. And historically, or certainly under Frank, the fullbacks went. So Chilwell went, Reece James asked for requested, obviously tonight. If he starts going forward, well, that's where you want Traoré and Neto breaking in between the fullbacks and the centre halves. Can you get Neto 1v1 with Silva? Can you get Traore 1v1 with anyone basically, and just say, go on then, can all the best defender do in a 1v1 situation? So it suits the way Wolves are set up tonight, but also I think it suits our main strengths. Like you said, I don't think we've ever really been a team. Jimenez, obviously you've got someone to cross it, but we've never really been a huge crossing team. Generally worked it for low crosses or little cutbacks rather than just swinging crosses in, expecting big, powerful headers.
Right, let's get our next guest in, because we are going to talk a little bit about the defensive shape. And as Carl Ikeme mentions, the fact that maybe we are just going back to what Wolves know, but there is an interesting selection in amongst it as well. Let's talk to a man who knows all about the difficulties of defending for Wolves in the Premier League, and especially away at Chelsea. A big welcome to Matchday Live Extra to Christoph Behrer. How are you, my friend?
I'm good, thanks. How are you doing?
I'm very well, very well. Sam Ricketts and Carl Ikeme with us.
Christoph.
Hi, guys.
Well.
All right.
Oh.
Yeah.
First and foremost, this is a very tough place to come, isn't it? I know you were part of a team that didn't get an awful lot of joy here.
No, it was always a difficult place. I remember, I think under, obviously, Mick, we went there and played a back three against our front three, and it was basically man for man, and I was getting dragged out wide with Anelka, so it's a difficult place to go, and it's going to be a tough game for them today.
Can I just say, by the way, I don't know whether you can see, as soon as you said getting dragged out by Anelka, the smile on Sam Ricketts' face, as if he knows what that's like, but also the joy of somebody else getting it.
I feel for you, because as soon as I was thinking, right, as soon as you said you were 3v3, I was thinking, God, and who are you up against? You don't want someone quick. Mind you, there's not really many players who aren't quick or aren't skillful at Chelsea. There's not much worse feelings than getting squared up 1v1 against someone out wide. It's not.
No, definitely not. I thought Mick would have realised, being an old defender himself, that is not the one position you want to be in.
I think you'd be a centre half tucking your full-backs in if you could, wouldn't you? Hey, wing back, get back here. Come and stand next to me here.
Definitely.
Because, Christoph, we've had such a big debate over the last couple of weeks about Wolves playing with a back 5/3, whichever way you want to look at it, and a back 4, to the point where Carl Ikeme refuses to get involved in that conversation anymore. From a defender's point of view, and I guess, you'll have seen bits and bobs of Wolves in amongst your own playing career in the last couple of years. What would you prefer to see them playing?
I think the basis of their success last year and why they were so successful was they were so well drilled in a back 3 or a back 5, as you call it, and they were difficult to beat. They were really good on the counter attack and also in possession. They could do everything. But I've not watched every game this season, but reading reports, they've obviously kind of been chopping and changing from a back 3 to a back 4. And don't get me wrong, the coaching staff there are top class and they'll have them well drilled, but they're finding it tough at the moment. They're conceding goals, which they don't usually do, and they're on they're probably their worst run that they have been since the manager took over. So it's going to be a test of character, but there's no better man to do it. He's obviously a really good manager, and the guys will all know their jobs. So it might be just getting back to the basics, what they've done in the past, and building that as a foundation. But I also must point out, I think one of the massive losses is that the striker, obviously, when he fractured his skull, that's I think they really missed him big time.
Just to continue to that, Christoph, how difficult is it as a defender, when you know your job and you know the job of the formation, the team, when new players come in and you're having to try and pull them along with you to try and obviously win games, but also explain to them where they need to be and blood them in, basically?
Yeah, it's difficult, especially under the manager. If you've been working under a couple of years, you know when to go tight, when not to, when to drop off. If you're showing them wide, show them inside. And, when new players come in, they've not got much time to adapt, especially in the Premier League. It's vital to get wins and to get results and performances. And sometimes, don't get me wrong, there's players in the past who take a while to adapt to the culture and the way the team's playing. But I think in this day and age, when you're getting brought in for millions of pounds, I think people expect you to be able to adapt straight away. So yeah, it is difficult because they're not doing great just now. They're conceding goals. So players are also, on a selfish side of things, they'll be concentrating on their own job. They want to play well themselves and not make mistakes. But on the other side of things, they need to be a leader and help others around them as well. So it's kind of juggling, looking after yourself and making sure your slate's clean, but also making sure everyone around you is doing your job as well.
Christoph, is there an element as well, and I'm interested in both Sam and Cole's views on this as well, that Max Kilman is playing in that role tonight, having come in against Chorley on Friday, and he is very much more an out-and-out defender than Romain Saïd, who's been filling in that role. Does that particularly make a difference?
I think maybe in this kind of game, on paper, I think Chelsea are going to be more dominant, and especially with a new manager, they're going to be all out going for the win. So in this situation, they might an out-and-out defender is maybe what they need. You know, they have to put their bodies in the line, and it might be a game that they're going to have to grind out and suck it up. But on the other side of things, you know, he's obviously, I've not been following Wolves too much, but you know, he's coming in, he's not a regular, so that continuity between the players could be a factor as well. So
yeah, I'll definitely go with more defending. I think if Wolves get more than 35% possession, I'll be surprised tonight. So it's going to be a real defending job first and foremost, and therefore then Romain has done incredibly well there, to be fair, considering he's a midfielder, but Max obviously got the nod just from being a natural defender. Sometimes that instinct, isn't it, Christoph? You know, you react without even thinking because you're a defender, not having to think about your positioning.
Yeah, I'd echo that as well. I think that they're going back to, as we spoke earlier, about being solid. And I think maybe just bringing Max in just to concentrate on defending and not worry about too much else apart from that. I think I understand the decision behind it.
Just before we let you go, Christoph, you are still playing. How are you finding it? Still enjoying it?
Yeah, I'm still enjoying it. I turned 36 on Sunday. I was actually I was actually 12 years on Sunday that I actually signed for Wolves. So how time flies. That was a long time ago. So I thought you were going to ask me questions about Chelsea. And I think my last game against Chelsea was at home. We got beat 2-1. Lampard scored a last-minute winner. And then I read the reports that Metcalf after the game was kind of saying I should have done better cutting the ball out.
Was it your fault? That's why you remember it.
So I googled it. I looked at the quotes, and his quotes were saying, "Oh, I shouldn't be coming in here. It's bad defending, this and that." And nothing changes. You know, he never mashed his words, as you say. And if you thought it was your fault, it was your fault. Even though sometimes I didn't agree with everything, but.
You did play in a Wolves win over Chelsea, though. There was a 1-0, but Singh-were
yeah,
1-0
at Molineux, yeah. As I say, when we played in the Premier League, we actually were fortunate enough to. I think the only team we didn't beat was Arsenal out of the so-called top 4 or 6. We always got good results against the big teams, but that was one team that we could never get a victory over.
Christoph, really appreciate your time. Thank you very much, my friend. Good to see you. Stay safe and lucky and keep playing.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, mate. Christoph Barrett joining us on Matchday Live Extra. Well, we've seen him arrive. We've seen him messing around trying to set his computer up. We may as well let him into the chat, shall we? Finally, the Hall of Famer has arrived. There he is. Look at him.
Yes, Tom. Nice to see you, mate.
Hang on.
Oh, yeah, he's got his volume on. Come on, mate.
There he is.
You having a go at me? So only if it's on, that would be it, yeah.
I mean, first and foremost, good journey.
Oh, it was great. I really enjoyed it. It's in a lot of Oxfordshire, Buckinghamshire, everywhere. So, it was all right. It was okay.
Sightseeing.
Has already authorised a fine.
Yeah. That's the manager in him, isn't it? That's the manager.
You would have done the same, Tomo. You would have done the same, definitely.
Of course.
Just kind of thoughts, I guess, on this one, Tomo. No recognised striker in the lineup, but 3 of them on the bench.
Yeah. So just looking at the team sheet, so you can see that he's going out for it. So he's going to have a go at it. Prudence coming back in as well. So he's gone with a little bit more experience up in the front line. So leaving Silver out, but it's nice that you can see that he's actually going to have a go for it. He's going to try and take the game to Chelsea, I think, because that's going to be the only way that you're going to get something out of tonight's game. Yeah. New manager coming in, people trying to hopefully impress him.
I just want to show people this, if you can see it. It's a tribute for Holocaust Memorial Day. So there are these amazing figures lighting up in the stand away to our right-hand side. That's the talk that you can hear over the tannoy system and everything. It has gone a little bit dark inside the stadium. And of course, we join with everybody in paying our remembrances to those who suffered in the Holocaust. Okay, prediction time, boys. How are we feeling about this one? Key battle areas for the game, and what do you think the score will be, Carl Ikeme?
I think defending is going to be key for Wolves, as we've found out, unfortunately, in the last 4 to 6 weeks. I think if we can do that, I think we've got enough on the pitch to damage Chelsea. So I think I'm going to go for 1-1 today.
Sam Ricketts?
Yeah, I was thinking 1-1. I'm thinking Traore and Neto are certainly going to cause a bit of trouble today. Slightly optimistic. I think I might go 2-1 Wolves.
Oh, okay. Tomo?
Yeah, I'm going 2-1 Wolves. So I think that with the front line that he's done, we need a result. We're desperate for a result. I'll go for 2-1 Wolves.
I will go
1-0.
1-0. Willian Jose off the bench on his debut to steal it in the final seconds. Hopefully, that is what it's going to be. Sam and Carl, thank you very much indeed. Much more from the boys at half time. More from Tomo in just a second, now that he's finally arrived here at Stamford Bridge. And the game.
He's not going to forget about that for the rest of the show, is he?
Oh, no.
Don't go anywhere. Kickoff's coming very shortly on Matchday Live.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
We can't welcome you to the Wolves megastore at the moment, but our online store is available 24/7. Visit shop.wolves.co.uk for huge savings on replica kits, training wear and exclusive Wolves clothing ranges.
The Old Goal Club has a new series, My Golden Game. Speaking to former and current players, coaches, managers and fans of the matches that meant the most to them.
It's a club who I have in my heart, and I always keep following it.
I've been back to Molyneux on a few occasions, and I never got a good reception, and that hurt me a little bit. Not that I thought I deserved better, but maybe because of those two games against West Brom, where I scored 4 goals in 2 appearances.
Check out the series so far, featuring the likes of Jodian Lescott, Kevin Doyle, Neil Emblem and Dennis Irwin.
I was absolutely delighted when they came in from England, and even more so when, after having a tough first 4 or 5 months, that we were on a bit of a roll and ended up playing in this fantastic game.
Old Goal Club, My Golden Game, available now.
Wolves TV, the home of live uninterrupted radio commentary of every single Wolves game.
Jimenez! Oh, you beauty!
But that's not all. Wolves TV also brings you extended and alternative match highlights, interviews with the team, behind-the-scenes features and training coverage, plus see every goal Wolves score from every angle.
The volley over the goal! That is simply stunning!
So check out Wolves TV online at wolves.co.uk or on the move via the Wolves app. Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
The halfway stage of the Premier League season, match day 20, sees Wolves arrive at Stamford Bridge for Thomas Tuchel's first game in charge of a Chelsea side who've won just 2 of their last 8 league matches. Nuno's team are similarly out of form, just 1 league win in the last 9, but that was against the Blues at Molineux just over a month ago. A win here would be the first top-flight double since 1975 and a first old gold win at Stamford Bridge in any competition since 1979. So many Wolves teams have been here and tried in the past. Wolves came pretty close a couple of seasons ago, but the last visit here for the final game of an epic 2019-20 Premier League season came to a disappointing end when Wolves just missed out on 6th place and qualification for Europe this year. It is all about whether this modern Wolves team, after a disappointing start, first half of the new season, can try and turn things around, Andy Thompson, and provide a blockbuster second half of the season.
Well, it's a good stage to do it, isn't it? So, like, at the end of the day, say come to Stamford Bridge and getting the result or the right result is going to be difficult. Again, new manager coming in, it couldn't have happened at the worst time. It would have been nice if they hadn't appointed anybody to come in. But you've just got to get on with it. They've got to try and turn things around themselves. And the only way they're going to do it is working hard and doing the right things.
Do you think there will be a new manager bounce? I guess it's that element of Chelsea's players are trying to impress here tonight.
Well, it is, though. It's a fresh start, isn't it, for everybody? So, like, they're coming in. He wants to see the way that they train, the way they play more to the point. But, again, say everybody's on a fresh slate. Everybody wants to try and do their best for the manager, even if it's scoring a goal or putting in a good performance. And it's up to Wolves to stop them. So, look, and again, I do like that he's changed the 3 lads up front, so more pace up there. But the thing for me as well, the quality's got to be good up to them, and also as well, it's got to stick. It's got to stop coming back, because I can think Chelsea are going to have a lot of the possession within the game.
I think your microphone is scratching.
Yeah, it's just catching me coat.
On your coat.
Yeah, I'll
on
just
his
moved
big
it.
coat, trying to keep himself warm. Tomo is a couple of rows behind me.
I can throw things at you from here, so it's all right.
Socially distanced press box. Stamford Bridge.
I can strangle you with a cord from here.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't put it past you either to attempt it. Wolves just making their way out here. Nuno making 6 changes from the side that started against Chorley on Friday night. Back comes Rui Patricio in goal. The back 3 remains the same of Willy Bolly, Connor Cody and Max Kilman. Ryan Aït-Nouri keeps his place, but Nelson Semedo returns in place of Kiana Hoover. Ruben Neves comes into the midfield alongside Leander Dendoncker. Daniel Pedence, fit again, is in a revamped attacking 3 that also includes 2 men who came off the bench on Friday in Adama Traore and Pedro Neto. The Wolves substitutes: John Ruddy, Kiana Hoover, Willian Jose, Fabio Silva, Vitinha, Patrick Catrone, Romain Saiz, João Moutinho and Owen Otazawi, in what, for the first time in an awful long time, feels like a very strong substitutes bench that Nuno has to call on tonight.
Yeah, so well, that's the thing, isn't it? We always say that you can judge a team or the squad by its bench, and it's a bit stronger tonight, isn't it? So, look, at least he's got some people on there that can make a difference, make a change, and come on there and do something for the game. So, look, so there's no doubt about it. This is a tough period for Wolves. The results haven't gone for them. Probably the performance probably warrants a little bit better than what they actually have, but they've just got to go out there and get the right results, make it difficult. If anything, they come off here 0-0. So, look, stop conceding goals, gives them half a chance, and we have got a threat up front, but that quality has got to be better up to them. So we haven't got much height up there, but we have definitely got pace.
So Daniel Pedence returning. We haven't seen him since he came off the bench against Manchester United in the final game of 2020. He is back involved and starting as Wolves may as well gather around the centre circle. I mentioned it is Holocaust Memorial Day, the lit up figures in the stand away to Orion's side. And there'll be a minute's silence here. As you can imagine, minute silence impeccably observed. It is always a slightly strange feeling around these big old famous football stadiums when there are no supporters in. We are nearly ready to go here at Stamford Bridge. Normally more than 40,000 would be packed in. They did get a couple of games, I think, where they were able to have supporters inside the stadium by virtue of being Tier 2 in London in December. Wherever you are, we continue to send our very best wishes to you. So many people have been affected by COVID around the world. We're underway at Stamford Bridge. Wolves getting us started. Playing from left to right as we look at it first half. Attacking the Matthew Harding stand, defending the shed end where the away support would normally be. The West stand on the far side. And we are in the press box at the bottom of the East stand, behind the Wolves bench. Some of the subs alongside us as well. It's Chelsea in their blue shirts, blue shorts and white socks. Try and work it down their right-hand side, and a good sliding challenge in from Max Kilman early on. That will boost his confidence as Aït-Nouri clears up towards halfway. Chelsea with Edouard Mendy in goal, a back four of Cesar Azpilicueta, Antonio Rudiger, Thiago Silva and Ben Chilwell. Midfield of Kai Havertz, Jorginho and Mateo Kovacic. And then Hakim Ziyech, Olivier Giroud and Callum Hudson-Odoi. Their most prominent attackers. Chelsea have a throw back into their own half to Rudiger. Infield to Thiago Silva, who'll be well known to Thomas Tuchel in the PSG days. Here's Rudiger. Infield to Silva. Rudiger. Traoré was putting pressure on. It goes to Chilwell. Infield to Kovacic. Now Jorginho. Low across the centre circle. Picked up on by Ziyech and swept out to the right-hand side, and immediately it comes back to Ziyech on the edge of the box. Cross takes a little deflection. Cody backpedaling, did well to get his head to it. And Aït-Nouri trying to take it out towards the corner flag. He'll end up conceding the throw.
Yeah, it's a good block, isn't it? Sellock in that initial shot where he's just cut inside, but just need to be careful that they make sure that they do get the second balls, because there Conor Cody was well alert just to get it.
Aït-Nouri trying to put some pressure on. Podence got in front of his man and was fouled, and Wolves will get a free kick and a chance to try and push up and clear their lines. Only 2 minutes played at Stamford Bridge.
But you've seen the kind of pattern that Chelsea are going already. Some little passing from the back through to the midfield area. And that's where Wolves have just got to make sure be patient. Don't try and steal anything.
Podence will make his way forwards to join Neto and Traoré. Rui Patricio in his, I don't know what you call it, luminous orange goalkeeper kit.
Well, you can definitely see him, can't you?
Long ball forwards for Bolly that Traoré will try and chase, but Rudiger will see it behind for a goal kick for Chelsea.
Well, Nuno's going mad at him because he put the brakes on, didn't he, Traoré? Rudiger was struggling there. The ball wasn't running too fast to go. It did eventually go out. But Nuno was not very happy at all that he actually put the brakes on Traoré and didn't bother chasing him down. And I kind of agree with Nuno. I think he should have gone after him, because it might give you half a chance to get something out of it.
There is Thiago Silva for Chelsea. To the right-hand side to Azpilicueta in towards Ziyech. Azpilicueta infield again to Thiago Silva, to Rudiger on his left-hand side. It's interesting, Chelsea kind of almost set up with a back five of their own, with Rudiger on the left, Silva in the middle, Azpilicueta, because Chilwell on the left, and I guess Hudson-Odoi operating as the right wing back, but both are pushed very far forwards.
Yeah, they are. So I can already say, even when Chelsea haven't got the ball, they're quite high up the pitch. The confidence about getting that ball back and keeping possession. But Wolves are doing pretty well at the minute. They're just sending them sideways, and that's what they've got to do. Just be patient. And they do get the opportunity to keep the ball.
Yeah, Neves with a couple of good foot-in touches. Kilman couldn't quite find Aït-Nouri. And then Kilman in again with another strong challenge. And Podence back there to try and help out. Looking for Neto on halfway. But Thiago Silva got a cross in front of him.
And there we go again. So we're just talking about it needing to stick up there. They're going to have to, because Chelsea are just going to keep coming at them if they don't get possession of that ball.
Chilwell, well intercepted by Neves, trying to get it early up towards Podence, but Kovacic stepped in front of him. Gets it back from Havertz on the Chelsea left and into Jorginho in the centre circle. To Azpilicueta to try and drive it forwards. Out to Hudson-Odoi on the right-hand side, looking to drive at Aït-Nouri, and fizzes a low cross in that goes all the way through the 6-yard box and all the way through for a throw. And on this near side to us, that was very risky.
Yeah, it was, and it'd be interesting to see how Klaus Giroud was. Oh, I think if he sticks his leg out a little bit further, he's getting a touch on it. But it's a great ball in from him. And that's what they can't afford to do. They can't afford to let that ball come in there. Aït-Nouri's got to try and stop the cross. I think Conor Cody might have just put Giroud off a little bit, just being in front of him. But that is something that we can't afford to do. I think, was it Giroud scored a goal similar to that, just getting across the defender at Molineux?
Yeah, it was early in the second half.
Yeah, you can't afford to do it.
Chelsea manoeuvring it around about the edge of the Wolves penalty area. Wide to Chilwell on the left, stands his cross in. Kilman did well to get something on it and put real pressure on Giroud. Hudson-Odoi on the right-hand side. Azpilicueta, infield to Ziyech. Now Kovacic. Across to Jorginho. Out to Hudson-Odoi again on the right-hand side. Ziyech had continued to run on an underlap. It comes back to Hudson-Odoi, who crosses low. Neves at the near post just sent it high into the air. Kilman heading the ball out of play.
Well, it just seems that there's a lot of pressure down that right-hand side for Chelsea, isn't there? Aït-Nouri against Hudson-Odoi. We're going to have to try and give him some kind of help, because at the minute, they seem to be finding some spaces and some gaps to get that cross in and to get a little bit of space.
Kovacic in the centre circle. So Azpilicueta, now Jorginho. A lot of the play has been inside the Wolves half so far. Traore just beaten to it by Kovacic and trying to flick it on towards Giroud, who held off Cody and whipped it out to the left-hand side to Chilwell, whose cross deflects off Semedo and will be a Chelsea corner. And as we're still shy of the 7-minute mark here at Stamford Bridge, it's been a pretty difficult first 7 minutes from a Wolves point of view.
Yeah, it has. Sellock has been dominant in the Chelsea. Sellock keeping the ball, moving it, and they've looked to threat as well. Not just only have they had a possession, but they've looked to threat. We've had a couple of opportunities where the ball has come across into our box. We've just been fortunate enough just to get something on it.
Corner will come in, left-footed from the left-hand side from Hakim Ziyech. It's headed away at the near post by Neto. And then a good foot in, again by Pedro Neto, trying to force Chelsea backwards. Hudson-Odoi, Rudiger. Will come to Jorginho for Kovacic.
Yeah, the problem what you're going to have is as well, the three up front are going to get frustrated if the ball doesn't come to them or the quality doesn't come into them.
Havertz trying to find Hudson-Odoi. Aït-Nouri losing his footing. Chelsea throw on the far side from where we are. Chelsea having plenty of possession early on. Wolves trying to stand firm at the moment and just get a little bit of a foothold in the game, perhaps. Chelsea have scored an awful lot of their goals in the second half of games. They've tended to concede more early on. In fact, only 3 goals Chelsea have conceded in the Premier League in the last half an hour of matches, and 2 of those were against Wolves back in December.
I was going to say, it's not much for us then, is it? Because we don't seem to score that many goals first half. So it's going to be an interesting contest in that second half then.
Havertz on the turn. That's a good interception by Kilman. And he's done well to find the feet of Neto, who tries to hold off Azpilicueta. Neves further forwards. Podence back in field to Neto. This is good football for Wolves. First real chance we've had to see them moving it forwards. Neto, though, losing out on possession midway inside the Chelsea half. It was better interplay between the forwards there.
Yeah, it was. So it's just a shame that it just didn't go any further up the pitch, wasn't it? It was just around the top end of that middle third.
Hudson-Odoi will play it backwards to Azpilicueta. Infield to Thiago Silva. Base of the centre circle for Chelsea. A little short 5-yard pass to Kovacic. Infield to Jorginho, allowed to turn away from Podence and dribble it forwards and find Chilwell. Infield to Kai Havertz. Havertz with a low left-footed cross. Cody did well to get there ahead of Giroud. Dendoncker finding Neves, and Neves with the outside of his right boot trying to set Neto away, but Thiago Silva is across quickly, sees the danger and plays it back to Edouard Mendy.
Yeah, so again, you can even already see Neto just dangling his head down a little bit because just couldn't get out to it. It seemed a good ball from Neves, the outside of his foot, but again, it was just intercepted by Silva. Just got to make sure we try and just to keep that possession. We've got to try and get into the game.
Chilwell infield for Havertz. Semedo's intercepted it and now trying to drive over the halfway line, and he's away from Kovacic, and he's attempted flick pass towards Traore, just hit the boot of the travelling back Chilwell. Went through to the keeper.
That's the difference, isn't it? So like that final ball again. Great break, great play by Semedo. And Traore, to be fair to him, was in a good position, just needed the ball given to him.
Yeah, he did really well, Semedo, to step in and intercept the ball in the first place. There's Hudson-Odoi down the right-hand side for Chelsea. Infield to Hakim Ziyech. Wide again to Hudson-Odoi. Trying to get some room at that byline. Aït-Nouri sliding in, conceding the corner. 10.5 minutes played. Chelsea 0, Wolves 0.
Yeah, so look, again, down that right-hand side, isn't it? Aït-Nouri's going to definitely have his hands full. But just got to stick to the task. It's going to be a good learning curve for him playing against Hudson-Odoi.
Corner, right-footed from the right-hand side. Lifted in high towards the far post. Bolly climbed highest, headed it to the edge of the penalty area. Jorginho trying to take it out towards the left-hand touchline, but tracked all the way by Neves. Has support from Rudiger. We'll go backwards to Kovacic. Ziyech turning and trying to switch the play out to the right-hand side, and Aït-Nouri getting across in front of Hudson-Odoi.
No, he did really well
off
there.
the Chelsea man for a throw.
No, he did really well. Could say it's a good ball out to him, Hudson-Odoi, but he got that close to him that he wasn't able to. You could see he was just trying to flick it past him. Aït-Nouri, so look, he did pretty well.
Well, Sam Ricketts talked beforehand about Wolves might be lucky to have more than 35% possession tonight. They're currently on 14.
Yeah, they haven't had possession at all, has it? As you say, they haven't really put a glove on Chelsea at the minute.
Traore couldn't quite hold on to the ball. Jorginho midway inside the Wolves half. Back to Kovacic. Instead of the centre circle. Now Rudiger. Falls to Ziyech, popping up on the left-hand side. The former Ajax man, Chilwell. Infield to Kovacic. Now Jorginho. It was always the element last season when people were talking about Chelsea and the transfer ban that they had. They already had it. What most teams would describe as an exceptional squad.
Yeah.
And they spent an awful lot of money in the summer to add to it. One of which was Ziyech, looking for Chilwell, another addition, but Semedo, one of Wolves' primary summer signings, intercepting, and Dendoncker drawing a foul. Wolves getting a free kick from Andy Madley.
Yeah. But again, say it's the more you frustrate Chelsea, so like they might be able to just get into the game again. We knew that they were going to have to defend for long periods of time. Semedo's done well down this right-hand side. Aït-Nouri at the minute is dealing with Hudson-Odoi as much, but still got to be on the toes, still got to be alert.
Willy Bolly will take the free kick short to Semedo. Back to Bolly. Couple of touches, trying to lift it forwards. Neto and Traore have switched. Neto giving chase. Rudiger hooking the ball high over his head, headed by Chilwell to the halfway line. Giroud, look, he jumped into the back of Neves, but the ball drops to Havertz. Well, Kovacic, short 10-yard pass to Ziyech, trying to lift it early towards the edge of the penalty area. Kilman position. Climbed up high.
Great positioning. I'll tell you what, he read that really well. Kilman's had a good start to the game with a couple of challenges, but he saw the danger there. Say of him running in. Giroud, I think, was just on the shoulder, just got away, but well played by Kilman.
He's got the ball at his feet now, trying to play a straight one that will go all the way through to Mendy.
Commentator's curse, wasn't it?
Give him praise for his defensive duties so far tonight. The passing radar might not quite have been as sharp. Here's Rudiger. Infield to Thiago Silva. The shouts you can hear predictably from John Ruddy, who sat not too far away from my right-hand side. There's Chilwell on the left-hand side for Chelsea. trying to play 1-2 with Ziyech, but Semedo did well to intercept. Neves for Neto. Still rather deep in the Wolves half to Bolly. Infield to Neves, back to Cody on the edge of the penalty area.
Oh, that's better. That's better. Semedo again, starting it, winning the ball back. Chilwell's trying to just get a 1-2 round him, but read the ball really well.
There's Bolly to the feet of Neto, allowed to turn away from Rudiger and try and use his speed again. Leaves it for Podence, who puts it through the legs of Kovacic.
Oh.
Neves couldn't get away from Jorginho, and Wolves had committed men as Havertz goes driving on towards the edge of the penalty area. Still running, Cody was with him, and Cody did really well just to take the sting out of it. It will be a Wolves goal kick in the end. Havertz just drove through the middle, and Cody stuck with him all the way.
Well, that's one thing where you can't get the ball away. You talk about little square balls. So Podence just putting it through the legs of one of the Chelsea players, but unfortunately intercepted by a Chelsea midfielder. Can't afford to do that in key areas, but it was well done by Conor Cody to actually go there and try and win the ball.
Dendoncker with a flick on. Thiago Silva able to nod it down to Rudiger as Neto slipped. Jorginho finding Ziyech. Back into his own half to Azpilicueta. Jorginho pretty much on halfway in the centre circle. To Rudiger to his left-hand side. Back in field to Thiago Silva. Carries the ball over the halfway line, looking to knock a straight one for the run of Hudson-Odoi, but Aït-Nouri tracked him all the way. Kilman's asked a lot of Aït-Nouri and he didn't get there. Azpilicueta, but well read again by Kilman. We'll go and make sure that nothing came from that little slip.
Yeah, so Aït-Nouri's got to win that challenge as well, though, and he can't afford to lose it. But again, Kilman did really well.
Bolly looking for Neto. Sliding challenge in by Kovacic. It's not quite sticking in the forward areas at the moment for Wolves, and that's just inviting pressure.
Well, you're not getting at your half at the minute. You talk about the possession that Chelsea have had. We're trying to get the ball up to the front lads. And because they're getting frustrated and not receiving the ball, they're starting to come deeper and deeper. So you've got no out ball at all to find one of your forwards.
Kovacic to the left-hand side for Rudiger. Midway inside the Wolves half. 10 in from the left-hand touchline. Back infield to Kovacic. To Thiago Silva on the edge of the centre circle. Short pass to Jorginho to his right. Out to the touchline to Hudson-Odoi. Trying to run at Aït-Nouri. Trying to go past him on the outside. Low cross blocked off by Kilman. Neves turning and trying to find Podence, who lost his footing and then played an awkward one back in field. Neves did well, actually, to get across in front of his man and draw a free kick.
Yeah, we need to be careful playing those balls into the central positions when it's contested, because it can go either way. And at the minute, Chelsea have been the ones who have come out with the ball at the minute.
We have played 17 minutes at Stamford Bridge on Matchday Live Extra from Wolves TV. Chelsea 0, Wolves 0. Conor Cody stood over the ball. If you can get in touch, use the hashtag Wolves Live to have your say. Ball forwards again didn't quite find one of the Wolves attacking three. Kovacic to carry it over the halfway line for Chelsea. That's the left-hand side to Chilwell. Back infield to Havertz. Closed down by Neto. Kovacic playing the ball back to Rudiger. Thiago Silva to Azpilicueta. Back to Thiago Silva. Kovacic pretty much slap bang in the centre of the centre circle. A short pass to Thiago Silva. Trying to switch the play out to the left-hand side to Chilwell. Down the line for the run of Havertz. Couple of yards to the left of the penalty area. Low cross in, blocked off by Cody. Dendoncker into the feet of Podence, who turns and lifts a nice ball for Pedro Neto. And Neto has drawn Thiago Silva out there with him, and he's twisting and turning and now setting off down the right-hand touchline. And a right-footed cross is too deep from Pedro Neto. And we'll go through for a goal kick, but that was much better from Wolves.
Yeah, it was. It was really good there. So a good play from Neto. Didn't really have much on. Had three Chelsea players around him, but he was able to create that space. But we only had Traore in the penalty. I think Podence was standing still in the centre circle. He's got to try and get up there for me. You can't just have Traore in there on his own.
There was a moment there, wasn't there, when Thiago Silva came across and you just kind of thought, go on, Pedro, and just knock it past him.
Yeah, and I'm surprised he didn't, because we've seen it that many times. I say he had that scored that winning goal against Chelsea where he just knocked it into the space and got the goal.
Jorginho forwards, Ziyech out to the right-hand side to Hudson-Odoi again, rather isolated with Aït-Nouri, and he manages to dig his cross out, and Cody climbs high, heads to the edge of the penalty area. Ziyech on his left foot curling it, but comfortable take for Rui Patricio, stepping to his right-hand side.
Yeah, well read by Patricio, wasn't it? So you could see what was happening. He's out there, but again, that's something that we've got to try and stop. We've got to try. Bit of a mismatch there, isn't it?
Yeah, Podence and Rudiger. Rudiger coming off the better and playing it back to Mendy.
But things like that, what Patricio just did there, try and kick the ball up early, one-on-one, Podence. Okay, so Rudiger was always going to be favourite in that opportunity, but again, you never know. So it might give you a good idea of what he's going to try and do, get people up there to support him.
All seemingly happy to defend from the halfway line at the minute as Kovacic takes it and looks to drive forwards to Havertz on the inside left, 30 yards from the Wolves goal. Now to Kovacic, infield again, and the ball's going to go all the way through to Rui Patricio.
Well, at the moment, they've defended well, Wolves. Defended well, read things well. I think Kilman, Cody, and Bolly have done pretty well reading the game, and the strikers or the midfielders running up against them.
Patricio's kick forwards. Traore will challenge Rudiger. It's going to drop to Podence here. Podence up towards the edge of the penalty area. Oh, and then was he caught in the face? And Wolves are going to get a free kick right on the edge of the D. Very dangerous position. It was opening out for Daniel Podence, and you wondered whether, if he wasn't caught, if he was about to pull the trigger.
Yeah, well, I think that's what he had in his mind, didn't he? Rudiger just running back, just caught him, because you could see that he was just trying to look for Traore, who was on his right-hand side. But again, when he's drove forward, yeah, he's just shouldering it, top of his arm.
Top of the left arm of Rudiger.
Well,
the arm, it's flicked out a little bit there, and it'll be interesting to see whether they check that at all.
Yeah, I don't think nothing will come of it. I don't think anything will come of it, but it's a clear free kick there with his arm coming into his face.
Well, Ruben Neves is placing the ball with great intention. Pedro Neto has stood there as well. It's ever so slightly to the right of centre as you look towards goal, so might suit the left foot of Neto.
Well, I was just about to say that. Is Neto going to do it? It looks like Neves is the one lining up with the ball and setting it up.
Ruben Neves has scored 4 free kicks amongst his 17 Wolves goals to date. Can he produce something special here at Stamford Bridge? It's Ruben Neves with a couple of short steps, curling in. It's high over the top of the crossbar.
I'll tell you what, I think Neto thought he was having that. I think that he thought, okay, Neves is setting it up. He fancied that just with his hand signals, what he did. And I bet you he did in front of that goal.
Neves claimed seniority, perhaps.
Yeah.
It's Chilwell's ball forwards. Kilman trying to head the ball clear. Neves challenging, got the better of Jorginho. Nice flick from Podence, who gets it back from Dendoncker and then rather ran into Thiago Silva. He just stood his ground, really, and both players have stayed down here, and we will get a pause for a little bit of treatment.
Well, I think the momentum of Podence has gone straight into Thiago Silva. Just watching the replay again, there was nothing in it. The momentum when he was actually knocked the ball, he just stood his ground in it, Thiago Silva, but he's come off injured as well.
Well, Thiago Silva is on his feet, but
still limping.
Wolves man is down and needing a little bit of treatment. Holding his right leg in the air.
Oh, yeah, so he's just stood his ground, hasn't he, Thiago Silva? Yeah.
It might just be a coming together of the two knees there.
Yeah, can be sore.
Well, Hull's been in touch, says, come on, Wolves. Christopher Straub, let's go, Wolves. We need a win against the Blues so I can have bragging rights against my brother, Greg, he says. Christina's gone 2-1 Wolves. Lucky scarf is on. She says she's so happy that Tomo made it.
Thank you very much.
She says people need to stay off the roads if Tomo's travelling, so he never has to be stuck in traffic, says Christina in Wisconsin.
Yeah, it was closure of the motorway, unfortunately. So,
Rich Frampton sat with Lisa, massive game for confidence and praying for a win. Says he's still going with dry January for now. Jared Kelsey, so happy to see Podence back. I think defence will still need improving. Predict Wolves to win 2-1. You can have your say. use the hashtag Wolves Live at Mikey Burrows at Wolves across social media. Vitinha, one of those who's just gone out to warm up alongside Fabio Silva, with Podence making his way to the side of the field here. So there's a change, isn't it? Vitinha smashes in a screamer the other night, and then the following game, he's got to sit 5 meters away from me.
That's football for you. That's football for you. I think, didn't Abraham score a hat-trick the other day as well? And he's on their bench as well.
Yeah, Tammy Abraham with 3 goals in.
Well, keep him on there anyway.
Chelsea's 3-1 win over Luton on Sunday.
Yeah, well,
he's got a strong record against Wolves as well, Tammy Abraham.
That's my point.
6 in 3.
Stay where he is.
Connor Cody just getting a bit of a check. I think he might have had a nosebleed, so he's had to come off as well. So Wolves are temporarily down to 9, though. Cody back on and Podence back on as Havertz has the ball for Chelsea. Back infield to Kovacic. Giroud, Kovacic on the edge of the centre circle, trying to stand one forward to the edge of the box. And I think that came off Aït-Nouri, and it will be a Chelsea corner.
Yeah, just to turn around, just knew nothing about it, didn't it? Just caught him on the back of the head, I think. But we haven't got Traoré into the game at all, have we, really? Podence has looked a little bit lively in patches. And Neto. But we've got to try and get Traoré into the game. He hasn't, I don't think he's had a touch yet, has he? What we've seen.
Not really. Ziyech on his left foot, cross deflected off Neto to the edge of the box. Traore's touch sends the ball backwards, and Rudiger hits his cross into Dendoncker and gets Chelsea another corner. So much defending so far. Wolves' possession in this first half is only at 21%. As we approach 26 minutes played at Stamford Bridge, it is still goalless. Corner from Ziyech, left-footed from the left-hand side, an outswinger. It goes towards the far post. Header comes back towards the near post. Semedo trying to get across in front of his man, and he's held off Rudiger enough and clears it high into the air. Almost coming down with snow on it. As Podence is challenging, and he's done well, although Andy Madley says he did so unfairly.
Oh, I think that's harsh, because I think both of them were at it. Hudson-Odoi and Podence. They're both nudging each other, and to give it against one or the other, not fair for me. Anything could have gone in that.
There's Thiago Silva in the centre circle. To Azpilicueta. Jorginho just in field of him. There's a 1-2 with Ziyech. Jorginho again looking for an option, but it's intercepted by Neto, who finds Podence. Podence trying to get it to the feet of Traoré. You can hear the shouts from John Ruddy trying to tell Adama Traoré to turn. He finds Neves. Across to his right-hand side to Podence. Podence has spotted that Semedo had set off on a run, but so did Chilwell. And out comes Mendy, and Wolves will get a throw in deep inside the Chelsea half because Semedo just didn't give that up in the end.
Well, that's the thing. So, like, if you put pressure on them, so like, that's what they end up doing, giving a throw in further up the pitch. Because if he hadn't gone for it, the keeper's just taking it into his penalty area and picking it up.
Well, Connor Cody's still got a nosebleed here, and Andy Madley's not happy with it. So the game is paused while he gets some treatment. I think the referee wants Cody to go off so he can get that blood stopped. Ollie Leaper, the Wolves' first-team physio, and the Doc Matt Perry are quickly on. So still more treatment for Connor Cody at the minute. I say Wolves 21% possession. There's only been 4 shots in the game, 3 for Chelsea, 1 for Wolves. Only 1 on target from Chelsea's point of view. They've had 4 corners to Wolves 0. Pass success rate. There's always a stat that I look towards in these kind of scenarios, Tomo. Chelsea are at 92%, Wolves at 71%.
Yeah, because I said there've been a few times, haven't they, when they've tried to hit the front men, that Chelsea have just stood in and took the ball. Well, there seemed to be a little bit of concern over him. His nose bleeding, isn't they? The doctor's giving him a few things. He's got a whack in the head.
Yeah, they're just going through some of the concussion protocols. We mentioned before that the Doc Matt Perry was heavily involved in creating the Premier League's concussion protocols.
Yeah, he's giving the thumbs up anyway, the doc.
There are a few that know more about that subject than he. And of course, they want to put that into practice with Raúl Jiménez at Arsenal. The back end of 2020. The good news from Nuno yesterday that he is ever more hopeful that Raúl will play again this season.
Well, he just wants to make sure that he's okay before he does anything. I'm sure they will, because that's the priority.
Neto doing well down by the corner and winning Wolves a throw right by the right-hand corner flag. Might not need him, of course, with Willian Jose here now.
Well, let's hope that he likes everything up. Let's make sure that he can do really well for us. I hope so. Oh, that looked a foul.
Semedo blocked off by Jorginho, and it will be a Chelsea throw.
Oh, that looked a foul to me. I've seen fouls given already in the game for less than that.
There is Giroud, flicked by Jorginho for Azpilicueta to Ziyech as Chelsea try and get things moving down their right-hand side. Hudson-Odoi back in field to Ziyech, on again down the line for Hudson-Odoi, who stands his cross up high to the far post. Chilwell was arriving, and Semedo did just enough to get across in front of him.
I'll tell you what, he's never going to win the ball, was he, Semedo, with the ball that was pulled back for Chilwell. But what he did, he made sure that he wasn't going to have a comfortable shot at goal. And he did really well just getting his body just there to put him off.
All standing firm at the moment with half an hour played. Wolves nil, Chelsea nil at Stamford Bridge. Wolves playing the goal kick short. Patricio to Cody, who whipped it out to Aït-Nouri on the left. Back to Kilman, who first time trying to clear it up towards Podence, who's trying to get the better. It was Neto trying to get the better of Thiago Silva, and it was Adama Traoré who lost his footing.
Yeah, a couple of times already, and this few players have lost the footing and slipped over. And again, I thought there was going to be a good opportunity there because Neto did really well against Thiago Silva, just holding him off and was able just to play the ball forward.
Yeah, he got Thiago Silva isolated there, didn't he?
Yeah, and they say he's a strong boy, and they say he was just holding him off, Neto.
There's Azpilicueta back in field for Jorginho. To Thiago Silva, just to the right of the centre circle, inside his own half, across to Rudiger, to Chilwell over the halfway line. Infield to Kovacic. Semedo putting pressure on. The ball goes infield to Thiago Silva. A short pass to Ziyech, across the centre circle for Kovacic. Out to Chilwell on the Chelsea left. 1-2 with Havertz, and then back to Rudiger on halfway. Wolves' defensive unit trying to keep inside their shape, keep Chelsea at bay, and that's a loose pass by Chilwell, and Neves trying to find Neto, who brings it out to this right-hand touchline. And then we know we're ready to go, played it off Kovacic for a Wolves throw.
No, he never really had the ball under control properly, did he, Neto? And all of a sudden then 3 Chelsea players coming onto him. But in the end, he did well just to get a throw-in out of it.
Semedo with the throw. Wolves might not have had much of the ball in this opening half an hour, but they've certainly had to do plenty of running. Quite a few out there breathing heavily. See the steam still rising as they breathe out. It's not as cold as it's been in recent days.
No, they've had to work, haven't they? They've had to work. But again, so that's what they've got to do.
Neves finding the feet of Traoré, just over halfway, flicking it on here to Neto. He's got Semedo out on the right-hand side. Semedo up against Chilwell, setting himself to cross, played it off the defender, and Wolves get their first corner of the game.
Oh, that was better, wasn't it? Little bit of link-up play with the lads up there, Traoré and Neto, and then Semedo eventually receiving the ball.
Neto will go across to take. Bolly, Kilman, Dendoncker are the primary targets. Traoré and Podence have taken up positions inside the 6-yard box. Bolly is on the penalty spot. Dendoncker and Kilman waiting to run from the edge of the area. Neto taking it short to Podence, who tries to lay it back here to Semedo, who lifted his cross in, but it was headed away at the near post by Thiago Silva. Neves trying to put it back in the danger zone. Silva again with the header away. Neves got the loose ball to head it wide to Neto. Backwards here to Semedo. Still about midway inside the Chelsea half, but under pressure from Ziyech, going back to Cody, who's closed down by Giroud, so has to go back to Patricio.
Oh, that was a shame. I just thought they could have retained the possession up in this top end of the field. I know it's gone back and they've kept it, but I just thought they could have maybe just kept the ball a little bit better there.
Oh, Neves got too much on a header. He was trying to place out to Semedo.
Well, you could hear the effort that he put into it, couldn't you? A little bit of a shout and a grunt.
Absolute neck muscles of Ruben Neves.
So he flew, didn't it?
It's a Chelsea throw midway inside the Wolves half that Chilwell gets back from Giroud, but Semedo. Oh,
never.
Well, Semedo did brilliantly to steal the ball, and Andy Madley is quite a distance away from that infield.
Well, I don't think that's foul. I think he's just got his toe to it through Chilwell's legs. Oh, I think that's a couple of dodgy decisions from the referee in this first half already. But I think that was a little bit harsh on that one.
There's Thiago Silva. It wouldn't be the first time that a referee would maybe favour the bigger team, the traditional Big Six at home. There's Silva again. Jorginho backwards to Thiago Silva at the base of the centre circle. 10 minutes to go until half time. Havertz back to Jorginho. Chelsea trying to slow the tempo of the game at the moment. Maybe trying to pull Wolves out of position. Giroud. Oh, Kovacic just held out his right leg. Otherwise, they're giving it away to Podence.
Yeah, he did well there, didn't he, Kovacic? I thought it was past him. So look, all of a sudden he just flicks his leg up, controls it with like his heel and the outside of his foot.
Aspilicueta to the right-hand side to Kai Havertz. Back infield to Jorginho, who looked to whip it up early towards Giroud, but first Cody and then Bolly clear it from the edge of the area. Traore climbed highest to flick on, but Podence couldn't reach it. And here comes Rudiger for Chelsea again. It's been wave after wave of attack at times in this first period.
It has. It has, and so they've had a lot of possession, Chelsea. So look, Wolves have stayed strong in the defensive unit. But again, you're just thinking as the game goes on, just got to switch off for a second. You can get yourself in trouble.
Well, Bolly stepped in this time. Podence finding Semedo, and Semedo's going to win a free kick on halfway. And I think if we are being consistent,
yeah,
I'm not sure
I don't
much
know.
in that either.
And I'm as biased as they come. I was thinking I was a little bit lucky to get the free kick there. But he's been consistent with his bad decisions, mate, so we'll just have it.
37 minutes played at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea 0, Wolves 0. Although the praise was just given to Andy Madley, he's made Wolves take it from a good 5 yards further back than it should have been. So it went backwards to Cody, and now Kilman. Oh, Podence playing it blind.
Well
Thankfully, Neves intercepting as Jorginho looked to have won it back. Here's Ziyech, though, to Jorginho. That's the right-hand side to Havertz. Havertz trying to find some room maybe to get a cross in. Plays it wide for Hudson-Odoi. Back to Jorginho. Closed down by Dendoncker. Ball hit the ref, but Chelsea still have it, so we play on. Rudiger, midway inside the Wolves half, looking infield. Finding Thiago Silva on the edge of the centre circle. He'll stand the ball up high out to the left-hand side to Chilwell. He'll touch down to Ziyech, back to Chilwell. Semedo closing in. Semedo challenging strongly, and Chelsea getting the free kick.
I think that Chilwell was on his way down anyway. I think he's just basically run into him a little bit. Oh, I don't know. I think he's just bounced off him there and gone to ground. Chilwell
perhaps knew what he was doing.
Yeah,
would be the most even way of saying it. Ziyech with a free kick. 10 yards from that left-hand corner flag. Couple yards in from the touchline. Wolves' defensive line between their 6-yard box and the penalty spot. Ziyech will try and lift it high to the far post. It's headed forwards and saved comfortably by Rui Patricio, diving to his left-hand side.
Yeah, I think then Dendoncker just did enough there, didn't he? Just to put pressure on Rudiger. He wasn't able just to generate any power on it.
Then sounds to the left-hand side to Aït-Nouri. Closed down by Hudson-Odoi. Wolves will settle for the throw.
But we've just got to try and think of a way to get our strikers into it. So, look, as the game's going on, or this first half, Traore really hasn't had, I don't think he's had a run yet, Traore. Neto's had a couple of half runs.
Well, Wolves might get a bit of a run here as Pedence on the left-hand side. He rather slipped, but he's managed to slip it in to Neto, left-hand side of the penalty area, trying to dig his cross in. Dendonker's header.
Chance.
He was just a little bit behind him as he tried to stoop low and get his header back on target, just over the top of the crossbar.
Oh, I'll tell you what, it's a good chance. Good pick out by Neto. Dendoncker doing that run from deep. He's got a free header. Just couldn't get over the top of it, could he?
First time Wolves have really got him behind Chelsea for a moment.
Yeah, it's probably just a fraction behind him, isn't it?
He had to slam on the brakes, Dendoncker, didn't he?
Yeah, probably just a fraction behind him, and that's why he's ended up heading it over. But again, it just shows that if they do give the ball away, Chelsea, that Wolves are willing just to get at them, and that's what we want to see more of.
5 minutes to go until half-time. Chelsea 0, Wolves 0. Havertz out to Chilwell on the left-hand side, up against Semedo. Level with the edge of the Wolves penalty area, being forced backwards, all the way to halfway to Rudiger. Now here's Thiago Silva, trying to lift a straight ball for the run of Havertz, who's got a toe to it, but so is Semedo. Giroud going in, Dendoncker forced the ball away.
Yeah, I think Semedo's done pretty well down this right-hand side for Wolves, because he's had to do a lot of defending the full-backs, and he's done well against Chilwell.
Thiago Silva in the centre circle inside the Wolves half, looking downfield. Ziyech to Kovacic. Away from Ruben Neves. Jorginho out to the right side to Azpilicueta. Now for Jorginho again. It's being held up by Neves. It goes wide to Hudson-Odoi. Back to Azpilicueta. Now Thiago Silva. This is Antonio Rudiger with the ball. Thiago Silva, another long high diagonal towards Chilwell. It's a definite tactic Chelsea are trying to employ, but Chilwell offside this time.
Like I say, that's the ball what they've got for Chilwell or Hudson-Odoi down that right-hand side, isn't it? Where they're trying to hit that ball pretty early, but they've probably used Chilwell a lot more. But Semedo's done well against him. I think he's defended well. He's even took the game to Chilwell where he's had to push forward.
We have about 3 minutes of the first half still to play, plus time to be added on. It was a difficult beginning, but it does feel like Wolves have come back into it somewhat. Possession is up to 24%.
There we go. So we're pushing up slowly, but gradually.
Aït-Nouri, importantly, has started to be a little bit more of a threat going forwards.
Yeah, they have. And they've had a couple of chances as well, haven't they? So Neto creating or giving a couple of chances for where we could get in there, but just to have the right contact. But shows that we're a threat, and that's what they've got to try and do a little bit more for me.
Yeah, just keep it in certain areas like Aït-Nouri there.
That's what I'm saying. I know he wants to go forward, I know, but sometimes you just got to have a look at the situation and just time your opportunities at going forward. You might have to just keep possession, start again from the back.
Here come Chelsea down the right-hand side again, about 10 yards inside the Wolves half. Jorginho low across the centre circle for Rudiger. Trying a big, high, straight ball that Kilman heads from the edge of his area. Aït-Nouri putting his foot through it to try and clear forwards. Thiago Silva under control down to Kovacic. To the left-hand side to Chilwell. Back infield to Kovacic. Oh, Neto was close to stealing it. If Traore had been a little bit closer to him, hunting in a pack there, they might have got it.
I think so as well. Did well, Kovacic, to get out of the situation, but it was good pressure from initially from Neto.
Here come Chelsea on the right-hand side again. Infield to Jorginho. Kovacic forwards. Havertz. Held off Traore and played it back to Rudiger. Midfield to Kovacic. Havertz back to Kovacic again on halfway, just the left of the centre circle. Backwards to Thiago Silva. Now Ziyech trying to play it in behind for the run of Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi trying to pull it back, and Wolves had the numbers there to make sure it went behind for a corner.
Well, I think Aït-Nouri just shows his inexperience there. Got caught ball watching a bit, got the ball inside of him to Hudson-Odoi. But I think it was Kilman who did really well just to get a block on it and to get across. But he's definitely had his hands full, isn't he? Aït-Nouri in this first half against Hudson-Odoi.
Wolves trying to stand firm at the moment. Cross comes in deep, and referee's seen a push in there on Bolly.
No, it must be a push if it's a push Bolly to the ground. But again, so look, they're sticking to the task. Wolves defending well. And we knew that they were going to have to do this for this game if they're going to get anything out of it. We knew they had to defend better, keep Chelsea out. And so far, they've done that in this first half.
3 minutes being added on at the end of the first half. Neves heading it forwards. It's back to halfway. Flicked on by Havertz. Ziyech finding Hudson-Odoi, looking to drive at Aït-Nouri again. Trying to cut back in field this time. Ziyech finding Havertz. He's trying to hold off Dendoncker. Ziyech. Hudson-Odoi. Ziyech again. Trying to switch the play out wide to Chilwell. Semedo
well again.
Closed in. Saw that Chilwell's touch was too heavy.
I'll tell you what he has done. He's got, as soon as the ball's got to him and he's got control of it, he's right in his face, isn't he? Semedo. There you go. Good pressure. Good pressure.
Wolves getting a throw this time. They see the job through now until half time. Get the thoughts of Sam Ricketts and Kyle Ikeme. Traore, it's going to be another Wolves throw. They're moving further up towards halfway.
Big share from Conor Cardi. Semedo looking to throw it backwards. A big no coming out.
Semedo for Potence, who missed his kick. Havertz sweeping in. Ziyech across the centre circle for Aspilicueta. Now for Hakim Ziyech again. For Rudiger on halfway. Kovacic. Little 10-yard pass to Ziyech, who gave it back. Havertz again will go backwards to Kovacic. Just the left of the centre circle for Chelsea as they look downfield towards the Wolves goal. Kai Havertz. Back to Rudiger. Neto working so hard to close down. It comes to Thiago Silva. He plays it to the right-hand side to Aspilicueta. Now further out to Ziyech. Hudson-Odoi trying to run again against Aït-Nouri. Infield to Giroud. Back to Ziyech. Left-footed cross high to the far post. Bolly in front of Havertz, heading it clear. Neto closing down on Chilwell.
Yeah, well done, Neto. Well done.
Real pressure on Kovacic there.
He didn't like it, did he? He didn't like it. Oh, he's hurt himself in the process, though.
Yeah, Neto is down as Kovacic has the ball to Havertz, trying to play it into the penalty area, but he'll go all the way through for a goal kick.
Yeah, well defended. That's probably the first half now. I don't know why Neto's gone down. He was just feeding his face a bit. He's saying he's got an elbow in the face, but I didn't see much. He's just in front of us. Yeah, Nuno
he wanted some treatment, and Nuno was like, no.
No, it's all right.
We've only got 5 seconds until half time. Let's just hold on here. Just here, we'll clear it downfield, and there you go. Half-time whistle here at Stamford Bridge. Not a huge amount of chances for either side, really, in that first period. Chelsea dominating in terms of possession. They've had a few balls flash across the penalty area. Rui Patricio really hasn't had a save to make. At the other end, Ruben Neves with a free kick from the edge of the penalty area after Daniel Podence had been blocked off when Wolves were looking threatening And then Leander Dendoncker heading the ball over the crossbar from Neto's little cross in from the left-hand side. The best of Wolves' opportunities, although they have been rather rare in what's been a tough, stout defensive first-half performance.
Yeah, this is. So, look, and we expected that, didn't we? So, look, that we're going to have to defend for long periods of time against Chelsea. But what they have done, they frustrated Chelsea. So Chelsea have had a lot of possession in that back third, probably in the middle third, but they restricted them in front of the goal, and that's what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to do that for long spells again in the second half, because Chelsea are just going to try and throw everything at them. We've seen the bench, what they can bring on, but again, we've just got to do a little bit better in just trying to get our front three into it. We haven't really got Traore into the game. Neto and Pedance have had a couple of glances of getting at the back line, but we've got to try and get Traore in there. And so they're making it very difficult for him to get on the ball.
Yeah, it's been tough, hasn't it? What have you made of, obviously, that decision to not start with an out-and-out striker through the middle? Is that something that, if you were Nuno at half-time, you might be reconsidering a touch?
No, so I still think that like them three up front are going to cause a problem. So I think that the way that we've put out there and the work that they're doing, I think it's just the supply. I think the quality into them has got to come a little bit quicker. We've got to try and play it to Traore's feet a little bit more, just to give him an opportunity to get the chance at running at the back line. He hasn't really done that. Well, he hasn't done it in the first half. And I just think that if we can just get a better ball up to those front three, just give them a little bit more time and space on the ball, they will cause a threat. And I think as the game goes on, I think that they'll come more and more into it if we can just get a hold of that ball.
Well, half-time, Stamford Bridge, Chelsea 0, Wolves 0. More reaction to come in just a second. Don't go anywhere. This is Wolves TV, Matchday Live Extra.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
Join the pack. Become a 2021 member online today. Whether you're a dribbler joining for the first time or an international fan supporting from afar, being a Wolves member gets you an exclusive joining gift, £10 Megastore voucher, and exclusive offers from Wolves and our partners. For more information and to join, visit membership.wolves.co.uk.
Wolves Lottery is committed to helping Wolverhampton and the local community improve, whilst giving fans the chance to win some fantastic money-can't-buy prizes, excellent Wolves experiences, as well as £1,800 given away every week. For more information and to sign up online, visit wolves.co.uk/Wolves-Lottery.
We can't welcome you to the Wolves Megastore at the moment, but our online store is available 24/7. Visit shop.wolves.co.uk for huge savings on replica kits, training wear, and exclusive Wolves clothing ranges.
Wolves TV, the home of live uninterrupted radio commentary of every single Wolves game.
Jimenez! Oh, you beauty!
But that's not all. Wolves TV also brings you extended and alternative match highlights, interviews with the team, behind-the-scenes features and training coverage, plus see every goal Wolves score from every angle.
The volley over the goal! That is simply stunning!
So check out Wolves TV online at wolves.co.uk or on the move via the Wolves app. Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
So half-time here at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea 0, Wolves 0. Let's get a bit of reaction and some thoughts from our pundits, especially those two at home. Sam Ricketts, you said pre-game Wolves would be fortunate to get 35% possession. I think they're on 22 at the moment, so that was a great prediction.
You could just see the way the game was going to go. It suits us really playing without possession. I think Tomo had a decent stat after the Chorley game. I think the 14 times we've dominated possession, we've only won 1. So we know when we're going to be better. We're better without possession. And I thought Tomo summed up really well. Defensively, been really, really good. It's just that transition. I was a bit disappointed with Neves at the start. Kept passing backwards rather than forwards. Just trying to get some decent quality to those forward players.
Carl Ikeme, what did you make of it?
Yeah, I think it's as expected. I know. I suppose it's difficult to say it's a good performance. It's definitely not a bad one. It's not a good performance as in look how good we've been and how much we've been on the front foot and everything. But I think as Sam and as Tomo will say, as football people, it's a good disciplined half from Wolves, and it's a solid half, a solid defensive performance so far. But we can build off this, and I think that's kind of what we were going back to saying at the start. Let's get a base and build off it, and I think we can do that in the second half.
That's the element, isn't it? For all the possession that Chelsea have had, if you're Rui Patricio, Carl, you're kind of pretty happy with the way your defence has repelled an awful lot of it. Yeah, definitely. I don't think he's had a shot to save so far. Not really been in trouble. No one's been caught one-on-one with any of the Chelsea players. We've not been cut open so far, and everything's kind of been controlled and in front of us. I think Aït-Nouri's defended really well against Hudson-Odoi. That's where the threat looks like it might come from. But I feel like Rui will be obviously happy with the defending, happy that it's mainly in front of him as well. And it's something to build off.
I think that's the main challenge, isn't it? The main battle, Hudson-Odoi versus Aït-Nouri. That's the big one. That's been Chelsea's go-to so far. I think Semedo's done really well the other side. It's just whether Aït-Nouri can look after Hudson-Odoi. He looks sharp. I
was going to ask you, Sam, about Max Kilman, because we talked a little bit about him pre-game with Christophe Berra and him being that more natural defender. I thought he did pretty well in that first period, but can he get a little bit closer to Aït-Nouri to kind of help him out and stop that gap to slide the ball through?
He possibly can, but I'd rather him protect the central areas more than the wide areas. I think Aït-Nouri should actually do a bit better a few times. He's been caught with that ball in between. He should come a little bit narrower and force the ball outside. As a whole, defensively, I think Wolves have done really well. It's just Aït-Nouri, he's the one who's probably got the toughest task up against Hudson-Odoi, and just that's the key battle. Can he improve on that second half? And it's really only been Chelsea's main threat. The early cross, like you spoke about there, and that was about it, really, from Chelsea's point of view.
What about going forwards, boys? I mean, arguably the best chance was that Dendoncker header. Wolves had the free kick as well. It felt difficult, Carl, that Dendoncker header, because he had to slam on the brakes, didn't he? It was ever so slightly behind him. He was coming in at such pace. Had it been a foot further forwards, he's meeting that perfectly. Yeah, it was just slightly behind him. But I feel like we've had opportunities to pick up some, have the ball in some dangerous areas against Chelsea. Maybe that our final ball has just let us down at times. Just to go off what Sam had said, Neves' first pass when we break down play hasn't quite been there at times, and he's not the only one. A lot of the Wolves players, because you can see that if we can get that first pass to Traoré, Neto, Podence with a bit of quality, as soon as they turn, they're almost 3v3 at times, and they can really cause some damage if we can get that first pass right. But yeah, you're right, it was just quite behind Dendoncker, but it shows why he's in the team for breaking his neck to get into the Chelsea box, and hopefully we can see more of that in the second half. So what do we do differently second half, Sam?
Go on. Well, we're not going to get loads of chances, are we? The free kick is a great opportunity. I was with Tom. I think Neto should have taken it. I think he should have just gone goalkeeper side and say, go on, save that. A bit like the Man United goal against Liverpool last weekend in the FA Cup. But Keems is spot on. When you're playing without possession, you're playing deep in your own half. That first pass, when you gain possession, is vital. You have to get that first pass away. Now, is it a quick one into Neto, into Podence, into Traoré and let them go? Or is it one where we're actually going to keep possession now? But you've got to look forward first. Neves just went backwards too many times, too many balls given away. He's there to be the man on the ball, to be the guy to feed the front three, but also keep possession when it's on. And he's given it away too many times. If he ups his game, Nori can look after Hudson-Odoi a little bit better, and you'll see not a better performance, because it's been a good performance, but probably more threatening from Wolves, possibly.
I think it's just making sure that it's not like a hot potato when you get the ball back, isn't it? Which we've seen at times where it's just like, oh, we'll pass it, and then it's like broke down again, where it's just a bit of controlled possession. But I agree with what Sam says and what the lad said. I know it's not easy, I know, and it's not free-flowing football, but it's a professional performance, and I feel like as football people, you appreciate what Wolves are doing in that first half.
Just quickly, because the team's going to be back out in a minute. All three of you, quick answer, starting with you, Tomo. Willian Jose is on the bench. I'm not sure how much he's actually even met his teammates so far, but would you be tempted to throw him on at some point second half?
Look, at the end of the day, so we've struggled to get it to the strikers or the advancement of the people in front of the back line of Chelsea. So why not? So look, at least we can just give him something up there. He might give us a little bit more of a presence in that central position. But at the minute, we've got to try and get our front three into the game, because we struggle to get them into it at all.
Kames?
Just chuck him, man. He don't need to know anyone, does he? To score goals.
The language of football, is that what it is?
Yeah, forget it. Yeah, just chuck him, man. He'll do it.
Sam?
I think if I was in that team, I don't care if we just picked him up as we drove past Heathrow on the way to the game tonight. I'd be thinking, right, new signing, go on, chuck him on, last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Forward, you've got everything to gain and nothing to lose, really. Have you? Go on, 10 minutes. I'd love, if you're playing in that team, you'd love to get your new signing on the pitch. Come on, let's see what he's got.
Yeah.
Okay, we will wait and see. Boys, thank you very much indeed. More from Carl Ikeme and from Sam Ricketts after full time. More from Tomo in just a second. Potentially more from this Wolves team to come in this second period. Can they maybe go on and snatch all 3 points here at Stamford Bridge for what would be a first win here since 1979? We'll find out in just a couple of minutes.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
We can't welcome you to the Wolves Megastore at the moment, but our online store is available 24/7. Visit shop.wolves.co.uk for huge savings on replica kits, training wear and exclusive Wolves clothing ranges.
The Old Goal Club has a new series, My Golden Game. Speaking to former and current players, coaches, managers and fans of the matches that meant the most to them.
It's a club who I have in my heart, and I always keep following it.
I'd been back to Molyneux on a few occasions, and I'd never got a good reception, and that hurt me a little bit. Not that I thought I deserved better, but maybe because of those 2 games against West Brom, where I scored 4 goals in 2 appearances.
Check out the series so far, featuring the likes of Julian Lescott, Kevin Doyle, Neil Emblem and Dennis Irwin.
I was absolutely delighted when they came in from me, and even more so when, after having a tough first 4 or 5 months, that we were on a bit of a roll and ended up playing in this fantastic game.
Old Goal Club, My Golden Game, available now.
Wolves TV, the home of live uninterrupted radio commentary of every single Wolves game.
Jimenez! Oh, you beauty!
But that's not all. Wolves TV also brings you extended and alternative match highlights, interviews with the team, behind-the-scenes features and training coverage, plus see every goal Wolves score from every angle.
The volley over the goal! That is simply stunning!
So check out Wolves TV online at wolves.co.uk or on the move via the Wolves app. Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
So Wolves and Chelsea just coming back out for the second half here. It looks like Kiana Hoover maybe coming on at the break.
Looks like Aït-Nouri's gone off, I think. Can't see him.
Which may mean Semedo possibly moving across, or whether they just try and play Hoover from that left-hand side. Did talk a little bit, didn't we, at half-time about Aït-Nouri having a little bit of a struggle against Hudson-Odoi, and that being Chelsea's biggest threat in that first half.
Yeah, it was. So look, he was constantly getting on the outside of him. The little ball between him and Kilman was the ball that killed him. And I was going to say they're bringing on experience, but you can't really say that about Hoover. But he must think that he's probably a little bit quicker, better defender than Aït-Nouri. We know what he can offer going forward. But again, I say it's that's an area that we've got to try and stop.
So Kiana Hoover on for Ryan Aït-Nouri for this second half. Wolves will play from right to left as we look at it. Second period, attacking what would normally be the away end, away to our left-hand side.
Yeah, I think that the first 5-10 minutes is going to be important in this game. So they've got to try and keep Chelsea at bay. Again, I think it'd be much of the same what they did in that first half, but can we hurt them? Yeah, Semedo's come to the left-hand side.
Yeah, Hoover will take up position on the right. We're underway for the second period here at Stamford Bridge. Goalless so far between Chelsea and Wolves, two teams who have not been in the best of form of recent times. Form that led Chelsea to change their manager. Surprised quite a few. They've won 2 of their past 8 league matches. Wolves have only won 1 of the last 9. And here's Hudson-Odoi early on. Dangerous ball into the penalty area.
Did
Wolves
well
doing
there.
just enough, and it will be a goal kick.
I'll tell you what, did really well there just to get across. Because of Hudson-Odoi, we talk about it already, but Semedo wasn't his best defending, but he did enough just to put him off.
Like Bolly got the challenge on Havertz.
Yeah. But again, that's the ball that's killed him in the first half. That ball inside Kilman and Semedo. Just got to be careful. Got to be switched on.
Mendy at the other end to Azpilicueta.
Oh, well done.
Closed down by Neto.
Well done.
Forced a mistake. Wolves get the throw. They've got Patricio in goal. Hoover, Bolly, Cody, Kilman, Semedo, Dendoncker and Neves in midfield. Benentz, Traore and Neto, the 3 up top. Chelsea with Mendy in goal. Back 3 of Azpilicueta, Thiago Silva and Rudiger. As Traore tries to chest it down. Hudson-Odoi and Chilwell, the wing-backs. Jorginho, Kovacic, Ziyech and Havertz all supporting Giroud up top.
Yeah, we've got to do better on throw-ins. We've got to throw it to one of us. So it's going to sound like we've had a couple of them and we've just given back to Chelsea.
Might help, wouldn't it?
He would. We're in gold.
Gold shirts with black sleeves, black shorts and gold socks. There is Hudson-Odoi. It's rather different to the blue shirts, blue shorts and white socks of Chelsea.
Yeah, it does stand out, doesn't it? But again, so look, it's just got to do better for me. Say you've got a good opportunity to keep possession of the ball there, and just give it away to Chelsea, and they're back at you again.
Ziyech with an early one up towards Giroud.
Well
Cody dealt with it. Neves for Bolly on the edge of his penalty area, holding off Havertz. Havertz closing down the clearance, and it will be a Wolves throw.
Yeah, good composure though, wasn't it, from Bolly? No rush to hit it forward. Not panicking.
We have played 2.5 minutes at the start of the second half at Stamford Bridge. If you rejoined us late, Kiana Hoover on for Ryan Aït-Nouri at half-time. He's got the ball in hand on the Wolves' right. Benentz coming to show for him. He'll go down the line towards Traore. It went past him. Rudiger back to Thiago Silva. Holes thinks that Willian Jose will score on his debut.
Bring him on then if he's going to do that, hopefully.
Simon says after 4 years, Deb has finally finished his lucky Wolves scarf.
Oh, well played, Kilman.
Kilman stepping in ahead of Ziyech. Neto infield to Podence. Back on again towards Neto, but across came Thiago Silva. Wolves have just found it hard to keep hold of the ball.
And as Sam said there, that initial first pass when you've worked so hard to win it back is the one that's killing them a little bit. So it's allowing Chelsea just to press onto them. Just got to get out of it. No, well done by Dendoncker.
Yeah, he did well to read the danger, and the first pass was better. Podence sending Traore a little bit wide on that right-hand side, just over halfway, and Traore losing his footing. And Nuno's fuming down in front of us as Chelsea come back again.
Well, I mentioned it in the first half that he kept losing his footing. And again, he's got a great chance there. I know the pass was a little bit wide by Podence, but again, he's just slipped over. Shouldn't be falling over that many times on air. Well done by Kilman. Well played. Well done.
Kilman
well played.
Just wiped him out there. Dendoncker then passing it behind Neto, and it will be a Chelsea throw.
There you go. There's an example of it where we worked really hard to win it back, and then a little bit of care with the passing, just giving away possession too easily for me.
Here's Neto. It looks like he's fouled by Jorginho. Steps up, puts his arms up towards Jorginho, who falls to the floor.
Well, he's just pushed him in the chest. I don't know why he's gone down holding his face.
Pedro Neto, I think he's going to get a yellow card as Andy Madley checks on Jorginho.
Well, he deserves a yellow card, but again, so I don't know why he's rolling around the floor. He's only pushed him in his chest.
Seemed a strange reaction from Pedro Neto. Maybe a touch of frustration in there. He's still arguing with Olivier Giroud.
Yeah, he's seen it in that first half where he was frustrated about not getting the ball, but you could see the referee's got the yellow card out already. But I don't think he's done himself any favours, Jorginho, going down the way he did, just getting pushed in the chest, rolling around the floor.
Well, put it this way, he hasn't needed any treatment.
Nothing wrong with him. He only pushed him in the chest. He didn't swing anything at him. He just pushed him over.
Yeah, it was a bit naughty by Jorginho, the challenge in the end on Neto, and that's why there was a reaction.
Yeah. Then pushes from Neto. I know he's been working out a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be that severe with him pushing him.
It's not really been a feisty game, has
it hasn't,
until that point?
No, it hasn't. But again, I agree with you. I think it probably was a little bit of frustration creeping in there to his game.
Well, Neves with a free kick that's a couple of yards inside the Chelsea half. Bolly has gone forwards, and Kilman. It's in the direction of Dendoncker. There's Rudiger's header cleared away by Hudson-Odoi. Cody, what a lovely touchdown to his left-hand side to the feet of Neves. Neves wide for Neto. In goes the challenge of Hudson-Odoi. Wolves settle for the throw.
Yeah, he just getting. I think as well that I said it the other night against Chorley. I think that the strikers, I know we've got three up front, but they need to try and get working pairs, because at the minute the ball's gone into Neto. He's got nobody to pass the ball inside to. This is still too far apart. I just think that whoever's in the central position just needs to help out the person on the wide areas.
Well, Neto needs a bit of help here as he's right down by the left-hand corner flag. He's going to get the throw, though.
Yeah, Chelsea are appealing, but he was standing halfway off the pitch when it actually hit him.
Semedo with the throw. Neto making a run short. Dendoncker and Podence are over there as well. Semedo looking for someone to throw to. It goes to Dendoncker. Back to Nelson Semedo. On his left foot. Cross blocked by Kovacic. Another throw down by the corner flag.
Yeah, just keeps possession in their half, top third.
This is an element, though, isn't it, where Traore is the only man in the penalty area.
Yeah.
And there's three of them looking around as an option for the throw. We'll go to Podence this time. And Podence is so short that it bounced up pretty much the height of him. And he wasn't really thrown in with that much power from Semedo.
But I think as well, because there's Podence, there's Neto, then Donker's come across. I think that if you stay away, you're not going to attract any of the Chelsea players, and it just gives a little bit more space for the players just to get a little bit of the possession of the ball. So just keep people away from it.
Giroud and Kilman were having a bit of a wrestling match on halfway. Ziyech comes away with the ball.
Yeah, did well, Kilman again. Just knocking him off balance, winning the ball.
Do a world of good for his confidence as well.
What I've said to him before, Mikey, so look, I think that he's done himself no harm at all when he's coming to the side. So he's done really well.
He's 23, but in footballing terms, he feels younger than that because this is only his 24th Wolves appearance tonight.
Yeah.
He had a bit of experience in the non-league game beforehand, and as people continually point out, he played futsal.
Did he?
He did, apparently.
Oh, okay. I never knew that.
I'm sure the TV commentators have mentioned it. There's Kovacic to Jorginho. Trying to turn in field, finding Ziyech out to the left-hand side to Chilwell. Cross blocked off by Kiana Hoover. He'll come back to Ziyech. In field, but a loose one that Pedence can pounce on.
Now, this is the important bit. Can we keep possession now? Well,
They'll get the free kick anyway, as Pedence was caught late.
Yeah, but those are the key areas when we win possession, because we hunt the ball down really well. So, and when we do get possession, again, echoing what Sam said, that we just give it away. A lot of care has got to be done with that first pass just to keep it.
Say Fabio Silva, Coutinho and Moutinho just coming back from warming up. Willian Jose and Patrick Catrone amongst those now warming up as it goes long towards Neto, headed down by Azpilicueta to Jorginho. Thiago Silva leaving it for Kovacic. Midway inside the Chelsea half, allowed to carry it up to the base of the centre circle. Plays it to the right to Azpilicueta, over halfway for Ziyech. Back to Azpilicueta, infield to Jorginho. Chelsea having plenty of the ball, not quite going anywhere, and that's what Wolves will want to see more of.
Yeah, and again, so look, I know they've gone back to that 3, and we do look a lot more solid and working. I hope that isn't giving the kiss of death on it, but they do look a lot more compact and better. They know what jobs they're going to be doing.
Yeah, harder to break down.
Yeah.
There's less route through the middle. I go back to the very first time I saw Wolves under Nuno, which was a pre-season friendly at Shrewsbury.
Yeah, I remember it.
One of the coaching staff said to me then, the way this is set up, this system, teams might get a bit of joy going wide, but they won't go through the middle of us.
Well, that's where you can hurt teams, through that middle on central position.
There's Kovacic trying to lift it high towards Havertz. Looked like a handball. Referee not interested. The ball cleared up towards Traore. Span in away from a couple of challenges and then was caught crudely.
I think the referees give the free kick from the initial turn that he had. I think that he thought that, but again, that's something that we've got to keep doing. Just keep feeding the ball to Traore and our front two, or other front two, I should say.
Yeah, got to get Traore in the game more.
He hasn't hardly touched the ball for me. And he's somebody who can influence games. And I know they've closed him down pretty quick to stop him from any runs, but he's got to try and create space for himself so he can receive the ball, so he can be running with them. So he's got to work a little bit harder for me just to try and get himself onto the ball.
Semedo with a throw, just short of halfway. Gives it to Neto, gives it back to Nelson Semedo, under pressure from Hudson-Odoi to Kilman. Onto his left foot, on the touchline, lifts it forwards. Pedence giving chase. Thiago Silva cushioning a header down for Jorginho.
There's an example of it. I talk about working in pairs. Neto's come short for Kilman. He's got nothing else on beyond. I think Pedence has got to come out that central position and just go long, just to give him an option.
Jorginho out to Hudson-Odoi, flicked in field. Neves challenged with Jorginho. Kilman going in, and he went in a bit late on Ziyech, and it will be a Chelsea free kick. Thought he could win it. Max Kilman didn't quite do so. It's that extra little bit of battle and desire that we've been wanting to see from Wolves defensively in recent weeks.
Well, I said to you before the game started that you keep a clean sheet. If you don't win the game, you don't lose it. And that's what it's about. You've got to try and get yourself that platform to build upon. And with the results that have gone against them, that's what they've got to continue to do.
Hudson-Odoi, right-footed, waiting to lift a free kick into the Wolves penalty area. It's going to go high and deep to the far post. I think it was Giroud trying to put it back into the danger zone and away by Hoover.
Yeah, got enough bodies in there, haven't we? So enough bodies in there to deal with it.
The pressure was put on. I think the rain is starting to pour down as Bolly blocks off another cross. Comes back out to that Chelsea left. Infield to Jorginho. Back to Kovacic. switching it to the right-hand side. The inside right for Azpilicueta, crossing in towards Giroud.
Oh, did well.
And that's Cody, who headed it behind for a Chelsea corner, but an excellent piece of defending once more from Connor Cody.
What he did, he knew that Giroud was just behind him, and he knew he couldn't go too far in, but what he did, he got himself right attached to Giroud so he couldn't get that header and was able just to get that flick on to take it out for a corner.
Just approaching an hour played. Chelsea corner, left-footed from the left-hand side, an outswinger that's headed away by Bolly to the edge of the box. Jorginho for Hudson-Odoi, back out to the left-hand side. Chelsea setting themselves to try and deliver it in. Right-footed this time, Dendoncker well-placed at the far post. Bolly challenging. It's going to come through to Giroud. Giroud trying to whip it near post, and Patricio well-positioned, palms it down and claims.
Yeah, good experience from Patricio, wasn't it? So getting himself in the right position. Good throw out as well. See, I'm just watching Traore there. He's standing up against the players. He's got to try and create some space to get himself onto the ball. Keep moving. Don't stand right next to a Chelsea player. Make him look for you.
Here is Cody for Kilman. Now to Ruben Neves. Midway inside the Wolves half. Switched across to Bolly. Finding Hoover, who can carry the ball over the halfway line on the Wolves' right. Trying to get it back from Traore to whip the ball in field. It was always going to be a bit too heavy for Neto. Cody cushioning a header down to Semedo, back to Kilman. Looking for the feet of Neto. That's a nice little flick to Semedo, but he's lost out on possession to Azpilicueta. Oh. It was a nice intention.
Yeah, it was. It was zipped into him. Good little flick, but again, it just didn't settle for them, did it? And just the rub of the green at the minute's gone against them in those tight areas. But you make your own luck, as they say.
Well, they've got through an hour at Stamford Bridge, and it's still goalless as Ziyech tries to whip it out to the left-hand side to Chilwell. A couple of touches to set himself, cutting in field. Now Kovacic trying to lay it in behind for the run of Havertz, pulling it back. Chilwell striking. And thankfully, he was leaning back, and it went high, wide, and in trouble, Rui Patricio.
Whereas that's where we've just switched off again. That ball just in between. Bolly, I think it was Prudence who ended up picking him up, or was supposed to be picking him up. And that's what you can't afford. You can't just keep getting caught with those balls inside. They're the ones that have killed Wolves in this game so far.
I wonder whether Neves just closing in out the corner of Ben Chilwell's eye.
Yeah.
Did enough to put him off.
Probably did, but it's that ball just in between the centre half, isn't it? That's the one that's causing all the damage for Wolves. Been caught that many times. Been down this right-hand side in that first half with Hudson-Odoi. But on that circumstance, that Chilwell was able just to hit it over the bar. But just got to be careful. Don't switch off.
Willian Jose has been warming up for an awful long time now. I've been watching as the other two have been rotating as Wolves are allowed 3 to warm up at any one time.
Well, it'd be interesting to see whether or not Prudence stays on, because he's just come back from injury this first game.
Traore, that was an awkward challenge by Chilwell, who went flying in. He's going to get a yellow card.
Yeah, I think they're booking. It just shows a bit of pace there, didn't he? Traore just getting ahead of him. Yeah, it's just lunges, doesn't he, Chilwell?
It's very damp out there all of a sudden.
We'll definitely slip the pitch up a little bit. Passing.
There's plenty of rain and a little bit of fog closing in. The floodlights on the stand on the far side just breaking through. Wolves trying to prevent Chelsea getting a breakthrough here. 62 minutes played. Chelsea 0, Wolves 0. Steve asking, has Adama got a shoulder injury? Well, we know he's obviously been carrying a shoulder problem for quite a while. I don't think it's anything necessarily that's affecting him tonight. It's just Wolves haven't quite got the ball to him, and he's not quite been on the same wavelength as some of his teammates.
Well, you're just watching there a short free kick by us. And because we've got no height really up front, we've ended up playing short and ended up getting the ball straight back to Chelsea again. I think we've just got to try and get some idea of what we're going to do with it and how we're going to get these people into the game.
I remember when we played Middlesbrough in the promotion season, and Tony Pulis had Adama switching sides at half-time to make sure he was always in front of him.
And listening.
Yeah, so he could shout at him all the way through. Well, sometimes he's such a talent on the counter-attack, but
he hasn't done that, has he?
Occasion.
But he hasn't done that yet for me in this game.
Aspilicueta wide for Hudson-Odoi. Infield to Ziyech, 25 yards from goal. He's having to dribble a little bit wide. He comes back infield to Jorginho. Hudson-Odoi wide to Ziyech. Right-hand side of the penalty area, low one in towards the near post, and Giroud just about squeezed a shot in, but was under real pressure from Cody, and it took the sting out of it. And ended up being a comfortable save for Rui Patricio.
Spedence just switched off again, didn't he? So a quick little 1-2, just got caught. Ziyech just being able to come onto it.
Hoover in a bit of trouble on the Wolves' right.
Yeah.
It's going to be a Chelsea throw. He had 3 players around him there.
Yeah, I think that because of the way that we are and the areas that we're trying to play, and it's great that we're trying to play it, but it's too tight. We need an outlet ball. We need to be able to pick one of the strikers out because we keep passing it short and 5-10 yards, and all Chelsea are doing is just pressing us.
Aspilicueta infield to Jorginho. Hudson-Odoi. Aspilicueta closed down by Traore's switch with Neto for the time being. Maybe Nuno was listening to us in front. Not that far in front of where I am. Suggestion of getting Traore on this side in front of him.
He's gone back into the central position.
Podence has drifted left. Ziyech for Jorginho. Middle of the Wolves half. Ziyech again. Will look to try and knock it high out to the left-hand side to Chilwell. Setting himself low one into the near post. Bolly with a closing down. Havertz striking. And there's an offside flag gone up anyway. As the ball went over the top of the crossbar.
But Hoover's just got into narrow there for me. He can't afford to be that narrow. Chilwell just gone on. We know he's staying that, keeping that width. Chilwell. Hoover just got caught ball watching, just got dragged in to help his centre half. But that ball is on for Chilwell down that left-hand side. Just need to open his body up a little bit as well so you can see him. Yeah, he's off.
I'll tell you what, though. I mean, you talk about the desire from this Wolves team. That was Dendoncker back in front of Giroud.
Yeah.
Well, Dendoncker closing in on Havertz, I should say. Cody blocking Giroud. They have got through 65.5 minutes so far tonight. And they have defended so stoutly for long periods of it. Only 22% possession in the whole game. Slightly more second half. Only ever so slightly.
There you go. You're looking at Neves. He's got the ball, and what options has he got forward? And that's the thing that we want to see him.
Neto trying to run on the outside, down the right-hand side, and it's a good, strong run. Low cross turned away by Thiago Silva. Deepest Wolves have got in the Chelsea half for quite some time.
Well done. Oh,
it's going to be a goal kick. It was played off Dendoncker and behind.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I liked about that. Neto being positive was the first thing, but we actually had 3 players in the actual penalty area. He's unfortunately just couldn't pick any of them out, but at least that's a little bit better with people getting in there and getting bodies.
I think the time might be approaching for a debut for Willian Jose. As Havertz trying to get on the outside, volley in with a strong challenge. Oh, what a challenge.
Get up.
Havertz has stayed down. He'll get up slowly. In the meantime, Neto always run the ball out of play, and he's booted it downfield in frustration.
He is frustrated, isn't he, Neto? Havertz again. Great tackle from Bolly. Great tackle. Oh, yeah. He needs to be careful. Neto being booked.
There's Willian J on the back of his shirt, for anyone who was interested. He's sat down on the steps in front of us, getting his boots ready. Man, who's joined on loan from Real Sociedad.
Well, let's hope it works out for him, that he gets us those goals that we need.
Chelsea on the left, Havertz, back to Rudiger. 67.5 minutes played. Thiago Silva out to the right-hand side to Aspilicueta. Closed down by Traore. Infield it goes to Jorginho. Wide out to the right-hand side to Hudson-Odoi. It's noticeable he's had a lot less joy second half.
He has. I think he's only had that one ball that he got caught. But apart from that, he's done really well against him.
There's Kovacic trying to run through the middle of the half. Ziyech back to Kovacic. Back into the centre circle to Thiago Silva. Now for Jorginho. Aspilicueta joining the attack. Wide to Hudson-Odoi, blocked off by Semedo. Chelsea throw.
He has done well one-on-one defending, hasn't he, tonight? Semedo. He had Chilwell in that first half, and he's done well against Hudson-Odoi. Yeah, well done, Neves.
Mistake by Ziyech.
Yeah.
It'll be a Wolves throw.
And I think we might. Are we ready?
Willian Jose with Rui Pedro Silva just getting his, say, final instructions, but maybe his first instructions. This is how we play, Willian.
Yeah.
You run here.
And here, and here, and here.
And one of Pedence, Neto, or Traore will try and find you.
Oh.
Just keep it simple.
Yeah. And get us a goal.
Well,
there you go. Simple as that.
Yeah, that's all you have to do.
Yeah, there you go.
Aspilicueta. 69 minutes played, still goalless. Hudson-Odoi down the Chelsea right, up against Semedo. He's beaten him this time, trying to lift his cross into the far post. Bolly with a brilliant header. It's going to drop, though, towards Jorginho, just on the right-hand corner of the box, holding off Traore. Hudson-Odoi back to Aspilicueta, down the line for Hudson-Odoi, sets himself, low cross, blocked off by Kilman, Chelsea corner.
Yeah, a little bit of pressure coming in that top third for Chelsea now. Just got to stay strong. Keep them out. I don't think he'll come on yet.
He's got Nuno giving him some instructions now.
Yeah.
And a little bit of a hug between them. In the meantime, Ziyech will take the corner, left-footed from the right-hand side, so more of an in-swinger. Wolves got everybody back to defend as it hangs high towards the far post. It was a good header by Dendoncker, I think that was.
Yeah, he's got to be offside, isn't he?
Rudiger trying to play it backwards.
Oh,
Havertz. Aspilicueta to the right-hand side to Ziyech, setting himself left-footed, blocked by Traore. Ball rebounds into the Chelsea half, and the goalkeeper's a long way out.
Yeah, it was just a little bit deep there.
Semedo intercepting, and now clearing it up early towards Neto. Neto trying to cut in field. Pedence trying to flick it on. Neto, can he get into the penalty area here? Pedro Neto to lift it over Mendy and off the top of the crossbar and behind.
Oh, wow.
What a chance. Made by the interception by Nelson Semedo. And Neto and Pedence did brilliantly to keep it alive, driving forwards. And with Mendy closing in, Neto tried an audacious chip, and it just didn't quite drop in time.
He's caught too much of it, hasn't he? He did brilliant there, Neto. Just playing a little 1-2 with Pedence. Little flick from Pedence, who is well onside. Tackle come in, just rode for him nice. Oh, he's just flicked it up too much,
didn't he?
Just too much. Could have done with miss-hitting it, if anything.
It's the way he gets his body back in front of Ziyech that makes sure that the Chelsea man is going to have to foul him if he wants to try and win the ball.
Yeah, he's tried everything to put him off without fouling him, hasn't he?
Oh, the agonising replay as the ball drops on top of the crossbar.
Yeah, it looks like Moutinho as well, I think. Might be another one. Or Saiz.
Maybe. Oh, they're both going to go out and warm up.
Yeah, they're getting through some work at the team tonight. Got to keep going.
Catrone will go and join them as well. We have played 71 and a half minutes. Chelsea 0, Wolves 0. Willian Jose is on for Daniel Pedence. Neto to the left, Traore to the right. Here's Havertz trying to play it in behind for the run of Chilwell, but Hoover read it, got there ahead of him.
Yeah.
Turns and clears the ball out of play for a throw.
Did well. Positioning was good. So stop that ball just inside of him.
Rain is pouring down now. Willian Jose scored 2 goals for Real Sociedad in his final game for them last week. It's Kilman challenging him with Ziyech, Hudson-Odoi on the right-hand side. 62 goals in 170 appearances for Real Sociedad.
Oh, just got to try and nick it.
Kilman has won it. Oh, couldn't find Traore though. Kovacic intercepted. Ziyech, Hudson-Odoi, couple of yards from the corner of the penalty area, trying to run at Semedo.
Well done. He's defended well.
Hits Semedo, and it will be a Chelsea throw down by the corner flag.
He's defended well, and I think it's Semedo tonight. I think we know that he likes to go forward a lot better than that, but he's had to stick to his task and his job.
Spiliqueta's throw, gets it back from Giroud. Now Jorginho, Ziyech, 20 yards from Wolves' goal, backwards to Thiago Silva. Just for Kovacic, middle of the half. Back towards the Chelsea right, first to Jorginho. Now further out to the touchline to Hudson-Odoi, closed down by Semedo. Back to Azpilicueta, all the way back to halfway to Thiago Silva. Now for Rudiger. Kai Havertz on the inside left, further out to the touchline to Chilwell. Chilwell looking to run at Traore, checking back infield, support from Kovacic. Back to Rudiger, 15 yards inside the Wolves' half, into the centre circle to Thiago Silva. Kovacic coming short, back to Silva again. Now Jorginho taking over, trying to stand it up in behind Semedo, who won the first header, Kilman the second, but it goes back out wide towards the corner flag. And Semedo will put his foot through it and clear up to Willian Jose, whose first contribution is cushioning a header down to Neves, who lifts it forwards, but Thiago Silva bringing the ball down under control and playing it infield to Kovacic.
Yeah, shows his experience there, didn't he, Silva? Yeah, go on, Dendoncker, well done.
Dendoncker winning it back ahead of Havertz. A couple of players colliding. Bolly coming away with the ball, though. He leaves it for Traore to take over. Traore has got away from one challenge and from two, trying to cut in field, and he'll win balls a free kick midway inside the Chelsea half.
Well, that's what we want to see, isn't it? That's what we haven't seen much of it this evening. We know he's a threat running with the ball.
Chelsea preparing a double change, one of which is Tammy Abraham. 6 goals in 3 previous.
Yeah, they didn't get the memo, did they, what we sent them? Keep him off.
Christian Pulisic is the other man, stripped and ready to come on. Can Wolves get in front before those substitutions are made? Neto stood over the free kick. Kilman and Bolly have gone forwards from the back. Chelsea's defensive line is outside their penalty area. It's Neto to try and lift it in towards the far post. Giroud's headed down. Dendoncker trying to tee it up for Willian Jose, to Traore on the edge of the area. Now to Neto. Neto on his left foot striking, and he got underneath the ball.
Yeah, he's so used to Neto hitting the target, didn't you? So he just got, well, probably his first Everton goal. So got a little bit too much on it, just got under it.
Chelsea double change. First of all, we'll see Ben Chilwell come off. I think Hudson-Odoi is going to switch to the left, and Christian Pulisic coming on.
Yeah, well, he's told Hudson-Odoi to get up against the young lad at the Hoover. You could see him pointing.
And it's Giroud who comes off for Tammy Abraham. So Chelsea are going more attacking to try and win the game.
They've gone with 3 at the back as well now, and they Pulisic down this.
Well, yeah, they'll stay in the formation they've been, but Pulisic is the right wing back. Hudson-Odoi is the left wing back. It's a straight ball towards Abraham, headed away by Kilman, picked up by Havertz, out to Hudson-Odoi, but it was behind him and will be a Wolves throw.
Yeah, they've done well. They've frustrated Chelsea, and you could see again their management and staff getting frustrated by it as well. But again, they've stuck to the defending. Wolves did really well. Now they just got to try and see the game. The conditions with the rain and everything, just got to be careful now about the pitch.
It's going to be greasy. It's going to be slick. It's up to Wolves to try and see things through. Jorginho for Kovacic. Wide out to the left-hand side to Hudson-Odoi. Looking to run at Hoover, cutting infield, trying to strike. Little deflection. Bolly heads it away from the edge of the box.
Yeah, it's a good block on Dendoncker, wasn't it?
Now Willian Jose trying to use his muscle to hold things up, and he did well to find Neves. His pass was a little bit short for Neto, who did well, though, again, to hold off Azpilicueta, and it looked like the Spaniard had got round him. He just used his body.
Yeah, he does well with that, doesn't he?
Kilman needing an option, going back to Neves inside his own half. Infield to Cody. Just over 12 minutes left to play. Wolves arguably have come the closest to nicking a goal in the second period.
Yeah.
Neto chip. The scoop of Pedro nearly undid Chelsea. Here's Willian Jose. Just a bit of a heavy touch. Thiago Silva winning it back.
Yeah, just unlucky there. His first touch was really good, so it was zipped into him. And then he just miscontrolled it as it's come down and give Thiago Silva the ball. But again, it's got to stick up there for us.
Here is Pulisic, Azpilicueta, infield for Jorginho. So much possession that Chelsea have had in the game, but Wolves have repelled them so far. They have 11 and a half minutes to see it out. Azpilicueta's low ball into the danger zone. Patricio out sharply.
Well done. Good talking and understanding from Conor Cody and Patricio, because that could have gone any way at all. Well, at least we've got that little bit of height up front now, haven't we? Got somebody up there who can actually put some presence into it.
He was having a right old battle with Thiago Silva there, Willian Jose.
Yeah, it's just the bounce just went straight over the top of him, though, didn't it? He's fighting with Thiago Silva.
There come Chelsea again. Kovacic out to the left-hand side, over halfway for Hudson-Odoi. On for the run of Havertz. Havertz trying to get in behind, closed down by Hoover, cutting back infield, using support from Hudson-Odoi. We'll play it infield to Jorginho. Switched across to Azpilicueta. Loose pass by Ziyech, but Neto has given it straight to Jorginho.
He's got to keep it in, He's got to keep it.
Abraham trying to hold off Cody to Azpilicueta. Back infield to Ziyech, who's allowed to turn and strike and hit the head of Cody and took him off his feet. Goes behind for a corner.
I was going to say, I thought he was in trouble there, the way that he went down, but it's a good block from him.
That's what you want from your skipper, your leader. Literally putting his face in the way. Ziyech with the corner, left-footed from the right-hand side, the in-swinger. Again, Wolves got everybody back defending. As it goes in towards the near post, it's going to bounce towards the far post, looping high in the air. Patricio's tried to punch it. Thiago Silva nodding it back out wide to Ziyech. And then the referee has seen something he didn't like, and it will be a Wolves free kick. And Rudiger apologising to Patricio.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that that was the infringement, wasn't it? On Patricio, fell. Yeah.
Well, 10 minutes to go, just under.
Yeah, concentration levels now, especially when you've been doing that much work and you're getting tired. You've got to make sure you stay focused.
Mentally tired as well as physically tired, I imagine.
It is. It is, with say like the conditions with the rain and everything coming down.
Willian Jose wanted a free kick, didn't get it.
Well, the sound like he's going to have to learn about the English game, that sometimes you don't get them in this league.
Perhaps especially when you play for Wolves. Pulisic up against Semedo on the Chelsea right. Semedo's lost his footing. It's going to come backwards to Ziyech. Teed up to the edge of the area in a curling effort, and it ripples the side netting for Mateo Kovacic. Patricio at full stretch.
Yeah, that's
desperately trying to get across.
That's where we've got to get out a little bit deep there for me. I'll tell you what. If he's on target, I don't know if Patricio is getting it, because decent pace on it.
It was Semedo losing his footing that just opened out the opportunity. And he tried to bend it round, and it wasn't far off.
Yeah, but we just got to be careful that we don't drop too far into that ball. Just watching it again. I'll tell you what. What far off it was it?
Skims the outside of the post. Needs Snicko from the cricket coverage. Mason Mount is on for Ziyech. Here comes Pulisic, right hand side of the penalty area, standing his cross up to the far post. Hoover with an awkward one back into the danger zone. When he had a bit of time, maybe.
Yeah, so he did have time, didn't he? Needs an early shout, though.
Mount. Taking it out towards the right corner flag, blocked off by Semedo. Chelsea corner.
Yeah, so look, he needed an early shout because you don't want to take any risks. And I understand with him, if he's unsure, he did the right thing and just try and clear it.
Chelsea's 9th corner of the game. Wolves have had one. 7 minutes left to play, plus time to be added on. It's Mount right-footed from the right-hand side, hanging it into the danger
well
zone.
done.
Good claim by Rui Patricio.
Yeah, it was. It was. Made it his, didn't he? As soon as that ball's come in.
Nuno in deep discussion with his number 2, Rui Pedro Silva. Are they tempted to make another change? Their third and final one. Willian Jose penalised for a challenge on Thiago Silva.
Look, it's going to take him a while to get to the pace of the Premier League. I'm going to say he's come from Spain. And I think he's a lot less frantic as what it is the Premier League. But he'll soon pick up, I'm sure, in training and things.
Kovacic out to the left-hand side to Havertz. Havertz infield, little flick by Hudson-Odoi. Dendoncker couldn't quite steal it. They'll go backwards for Rudiger. Now Thiago Silva. Jorginho out to Azpilicueta on the right-hand side. Down the line for the run of Pulisic. It's drawn Kilman out with him. 10 yards from the corner flag. Twisting and turning, trying to find room. Kilman stuck with him.
Well defended. Well
and
played.
It's going to be a goal kick.
Oh, yeah. It's just come back off the back of the Chelsea player, I think. But well defended by him.
Pulisic couldn't believe it, and I do have some sympathy based on that replay I've just seen.
Yeah, it didn't look like he hit him, did it? But the referee, the assistant line referee is a lot closer than us. He was the one who gave it.
5.5 minutes left to play. Bolly for Hoover. Over halfway, trying to get Traore away. And Traore has got Rudiger isolated for a moment. He's got options in the penalty area as he cuts in on the edge of the area here. Still Traore running from right to left. Now he soles his pass towards Neto short. Intercepted by Pulisic. Neves fouling Mason Mount.
Well, that just sums it up, doesn't it? So, look, a good opportunity to keep possession of the ball. No pressure on him, and we end up giving it away. That's where you've got to take care with it, especially in the later stages.
Hudson-Odoi at the other end, driving forwards up towards the edge of the penalty area, shooting, deflecting, and Patricio flying to his left to save and tip it behind for yet another Chelsea corner.
Yeah. Well, I think they've got to be aware of that now. Hudson-Odoi coming in from that left-hand side, being right-footed as well. I think he took a deflection, which took a lot of the sting out of it.
Teared off Hoover.
Yeah.
Maybe helped it into the direction of Rui Patricio. Mount with a corner right-footed from the right-hand side.
Good header.
Headed away by Cody. Neto trying to get to the loose ball first. Was he fouled by Pulisic?
Well,
yeah, he was.
Well played. Well played. That's what you want. People putting the bodies in between the opposition. Got a good free kick out of it. Relieves that pressure.
4 minutes to go, plus time to be added on. Chelsea 0, Wolves 0 at Stamford Bridge. Wolves having a glorious opportunity when Pedro Neto scooped the ball. It hit the top of the crossbar.
Oh, well done.
Willian Jose with a flick on. Neto chasing. Thiago Silva for Rudiger, though.
Yeah, Traore said just a little bit behind. You might as well stay here where he is now.
Here come Chelsea with Hudson-Odoi down their left again. Infield to Havertz, midway inside the Wolves half. Back to halfway to Rudiger inside the centre circle. Low out towards Azpilicueta. We'll come back infield to Kovacic on the edge of the centre circle. A short pass to Jorginho to his right. Now to Azpilicueta. Back infield to Jorginho. Switching it for Rudiger. Now it's Jorginho once more. For Azpilicueta on the right. Infield 1-2 with Pulisic. We might see João Moutinho coming on very shortly. In the meantime, it's Mason Mount into the penalty area. A low one in, and
well
Willy
played.
Bolly with a brilliant bit of defending to spot the danger and get across and make sure it goes behind for a corner.
Yeah, just got to be careful there, Mount. We know what he's like. He's clever around that penalty area. Just let the ball just roll across him and was in the penalty area. Great defending by Bolly, though.
Crossing towards the near post, headed away by Willian Jose. Wolves have 2 more minutes of the 90 left to play. into that area of the game now where it's about seeing it through for the clean sheet, taking a point, building on incredible hard work and effort they've put in on a difficult night at Stamford Bridge, as Semedo might just have presented it to Mason Mount in trying to save a corner. Pulisic's cross, Cody's headed to the edge of the box, Neves made sure he got there first. Willian Jose ahead of Aspilicueta, now finding Traore, and Traore is setting off at speed, and he's away from two, and he finds Neto, who switched the play superbly. Here's Dendoncker trying to lift it back in, and it's taken by the goalkeeper.
Great ball from Neto. Great ball. Just a shame. Just didn't get out of his stride, did he, a little bit? If he was moving forward, I think he could have just probably shielded the ball a little bit. It was a shame that he didn't get it.
Here's Pulisic on the right-hand side for Chelsea into the penalty area. Closed down by Neto and by Semedo. It comes back to Aspilicueta, intercepted by Neves. Willian Jose turning and trying to hold the ball up and trying to scoop it forwards to Hoover, but it's intercepted.
Yeah, well done.
But he will get a free kick. Excellent work again from Willian Jose.
Yeah, he did well. Did well. He wasn't sure about the pass, so he just kept hold of it. And again, he got the free kick out of it. Adama coming off, isn't it?
Adama Traore to be replaced by João Moutinho as Wolves try and see this through.
Yeah, so it's just sacrificing one of the front lads and just one in that midfield area.
It was brilliant by Neto to try and pick him out. It's just maybe held up, and that allowed Hudson-Odoi to get back to Dendoncker.
But his control as well, wasn't it? He was like back towards the Chelsea player as well. Maybe if he'd just got it a little bit out to the right-hand side, he might have been striking that. But it just allowed the Chelsea player just to get back and just get a touch on the ball. Well, there goes the board.
3 minutes is what's being added on.
Well, the hard work they've done over the game. Got to concentrate now for these 3 minutes.
Looking for a first Premier League clean sheet in 13 matches. And kept one in the last 12. As Bolly tries to lift it forwards. Willian Jose chasing. Goes backwards to Edouard Mendy. Thiago Silva to try and carry it forwards for Chelsea. Kovacic just to the left of the centre circle. Trying to feed it in behind for the run of Hudson-Odoi, who will get there ahead of Bolly. Hoover arriving. The ball goes backwards to Havertz. Infield to Mount. Kovacic. Jorginho, middle of the Wolves half, to his right-hand side to Aspilicueta. Out towards Pulisic, back to Aspilicueta. Infield to Jorginho. Kovacic for Aspilicueta. Out to the right-hand side again to Pulisic. Level with the edge of the Wolves penalty area, being shown in field. Finds Kovacic, wide again to Aspilicueta. Blocked off by Moutinho. Ball comes back though. Kovacic has it again. Jorginho, backwards to Thiago Silva. We have played 1:15 of the 3 minutes being added on as Antonio Rudiger sweeps the ball low out to the left-hand side to Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi playing it back in field to Rudiger. Back out wide again to Hudson-Odoi, who will try and set himself, looking to run on the outside of Hoover, who can see it behind for a goal kick.
Well done, well defended. And that's what they've got to do now. Stick to that task, stopping everything, picking people up, watching runners. They worked really hard this evening.
Minute 10 by my watch, still to play. Wolves working as hard as they possibly can.
Well, they've had to, haven't they? Chelsea have thrown a lot of pressure on them.
Willian Jose penalised for a challenge on halfway. 50 seconds to play. Thiago Silva for Aspilicueta. Over the halfway line, out to Pulisic on the right, back in field to Aspilicueta. Neto still digging deep to try and chase. Thiago Silva carrying it forwards, wide out to the left-hand side to Hudson-Odoi. 30 seconds of the time added on remain. Havertz on the turn, infield to Jorginho. Now to Mount, to the edge of the penalty area. Right-hand side of it to Pulisic. Cross takes the deflection. It's going to be another Chelsea corner in the final 15 seconds of the game.
Oh, it's important now, isn't it? Oh, short. Well done. Well done. Switched on from it.
Mount to take it. Right-footed from the right-hand side. Surely the last kick of the game as it's whipped in and headed goalwards and somehow turned over. And that is the final action of the match.
I'll tell you what, that's come off a Chelsea player, there is. The defending.
Well, Wolves are celebrating and congratulating each other.
Yeah.
Their hard work. It's a hard-earned point. It's a clean sheet. The first time in 13 games in the Premier League, Wolves have had a shutout. They went close to maybe nicking it when Pedro Neto hit the top of the crossbar with a rare breakaway in that second period. But their first clean sheet in the Premier League since October the 30th. Boy, did they have to work hard for it. Chelsea huffed and puffed. They had 12 corners in the game, 13 shots, but Wolves repelled everything Thomas Tuchel's Chelsea could throw at them. And if they are to build in the second half of the season, this was an important foundation stone in what we hope they can go on and achieve in the remainder of this campaign. It finished at Stamford Bridge, Chelsea 0, Wolves 0.
Well, we said that they would have to work hard, and again, a clean sheet, if that's going to be the score at the end of the game, 0-0, at least it just gives them a base to do something with it. And we had to stop leaking goals. And that was our priority. We had to try and stop it, because just give us an opportunity to win games. And they've done that this evening, because Chelsea have absolutely threw everything at them, but they've stood strong. They've stopped them from actually getting anything. And they've had a couple of opportunities, even though they didn't have a lot. But they had they had the best chance of the game with Neto, where he's just flicked it onto the crossbar. But again, so look, I'm sure that Nuno will be happy with the way that they stuck to the task of keeping Chelsea out.
And it may well be one of those where, listen, we know it wasn't pretty at times tonight, but it was not about being pretty. It was about being gritty. It was about sticking in there and showing that they do have the capability to keep clean sheets in the Premier League and get points on the board. And Wolves have done that tonight. And we'll get more from Andy Thompson. And we'll also hear from Sam Ricketts and from Carl Ikeme in just a couple of minutes here on Matchday Live Extra.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
Join the pack. Become a 2021 member online today. Whether you're a dribbler joining for the first time or an international fan supporting from afar. Being a Wolves member gets you an exclusive joining gift, £10 Megastore voucher, and exclusive offers from Wolves and our partners. For more information and to join, visit membership.wolves.co.uk.
Wolves Lottery is committed to helping Wolverhampton and the local community improve, whilst giving fans the chance to win some fantastic money can't buy prizes, excellent Wolves experiences, as well as £1,800 given away every week. For more information and to sign up online, visit wolves.co.uk/Wolves-Lottery.
We can't welcome you to the Wolves Megastore at the moment, but our online store is available 24/7. Visit shop.wolves.co.uk for huge savings on replica kits, training wear, and exclusive Wolves clothing ranges.
Wolves TV, the home of live uninterrupted radio commentary of every single Wolves game.
Jimenez! Oh, you beauty!
But that's not all. Wolves TV also brings you extended and alternative match highlights, interviews with the team, behind-the-scenes features and training coverage, plus see every goal Wolves score from every angle.
The volley over the goal! That is simply stunning!
So check out Wolves TV online at wolves.co.uk or on the move via the Wolves app. Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
Full time at Stamford Bridge. This is Matchday Live Extra from Wolves TV, where Wolves have battled to a goalless draw against Chelsea. We will get reaction from Sam Ricketts, Ikeme and Andy Thompson over the next couple of minutes of what was really, really interesting, the way Wolves went about it for this one. They went back to that back five. They stayed rigid. They worked so hard. We'll go through some of the stats in just a minute, but one of the big ones that will stand out, I mentioned it at half-time, Sam Ricketts, your prediction of being lucky to get 35% possession ended up being 22, but they nearly nicked it, didn't they?
They did. I mean, really encouraged by it. It was resolute. It was hard to play against, restricted Chelsea to very little. And then they've always got the ability on the break. I think tonight they just lacked that final pass or the final shot in Neto's case. And they take, they go home with all 3 points. But they certainly showed an awful lot tonight. And like you said before, like we all said before, they have the attacking prowess to cause team problems.
Well, here's the stats. Chelsea with 78% possession to Wolves 22, 14 shots to 4. None of Wolves' shots were on target, but as we've just discussed, Pedro Neto went pretty damn close. 12 corners to 1. It's one of those, Ikeme, where, we've seen this from Wolves on the other foot on Friday against Chorley, where Wolves had all the ball but found it hard to break down a team that were resolute defensively. That's the job Wolves did tonight. Yeah,
definitely. They'd done a number to say on Chelsea. They were solid. We're definitely more concerned about defending and attacking. And we're trying to get back to basics, trying to keep a clean sheet, trying to be solid and to build off that. And I feel like you can build off performances like this when you're conceding goals in the manner that we have at times. It's hard to base off that. And I feel that maybe Nuno's gone back to what he knows worked well for us. I feel like he did try and progress it and give us more possession, but it's not really been as effective. And it's about results at times. And I think Wolves have come here to get a result. And I'm sure Nuno and the team will be happy with the result and the clean sheet.
It's also, isn't it, about players at times, especially in that defensive line, literally being prepared to put their body on the line for it at times. And we saw so many opportunities where there was either Bolly or Dendoncker was getting back there and Kilman doing it, and summed up, Tomo, by Connor Cody pretty much taking one full in the face that knocked him off his feet, trying to block a shot from distance. But that's what you've got to do to get the clean sheet.
That's what it is, and we've said it time and time again. So like we've built this side, or Nuno's built this side over keeping clean sheets and being able to counter attack against teams. And again, we saw a near example of it where Neto nearly pinched the goal at the end there. But look, say if you're keeping clean sheets, it's always going to give you an opportunity to win the game with the quality that we've got going forward. Even though we didn't see it a lot this evening, I just think that we can cause teams problems. But first of all, we've got to stop conceding goals, and that's what we've done tonight against a good Chelsea team. They threw absolutely everything at it, but Wolves stayed strong. They defended really well. You're looking on there, players like just running for the team and working hard for the rest of the squad, and that's what you want to see. But it always gives you an opportunity if you keep a clean sheet. And I think Nuno's realising that he's got to try and stop those goals going in like he did tonight.
I think it's also it's not that they've not been trying hard before or not been trying to bust a gut. I think it's just the mentality at times, and that because we've tried to progress it and try and be more of a possession-based team, we've maybe neglected that sort of die-hard defend first and we'll counter-attack second. And I think that's kind of what we've got back to tonight, and to die-hard defending first, and then we can nick a goal with the players we have up front.
I think we defended from the front though, Kings, didn't we? Really well. The distances between the codes and the centre forward, whoever it was at the time, was much shorter, much smaller. So therefore, then Chelsea couldn't play through.
Yeah, it was really compact, wasn't it, Sam? And you kind of seen that we was defending as a team as well, where sometimes I think we went through a stage with it at Wolves as well, where even in possession, you can kind of become too harsh of a team at times. It can be your back four and sort of midfield two and the front, and sometimes they don't get connected with in possession and out of possession. And I think you kind of seen that tonight from what, and I agree with what Sam just said.
Mikey, how many shots did Chelsea have on target out of interest? You said they had 14. Then how many were on target?
14, and on target was 5.
Yeah, so not restricted them to very little, really, over 90 minutes there.
Considering the possession what they had, so look, I just think that they absolutely threw everything at it. Wolves defending, and again, that's what you've got to do if you're going to try and win games or get something out of a game. Again, it wasn't the prettiest going forward, but again, it gives you a chance. If you can keep goals out, it gives you a chance.
I think that will come going forward. I think going into today's game, the mindset we're all talking about is, right, let's be hard to beat, hard to break down. So what Nuno would just work on the defensive shape, get back to this. And they would have spoke about the breaking bit and what they're trying to do, but not to the same detail as what you can see when they worked on the defensive shape. Now work on that going forward bit. I just thought sometimes Neto and Traoré, as much as we were saying, get into their feet, that first pass into feet, it may be his first pass into someone, then you're putting them in behind, get them, stretch the opposition defenders. Once late on, Max Kilman had the ball, and Neto made a great run off the back, just down the side. You have to feel it down the side, and then you put a Neto 1v1, so it doesn't always have to go to feet. But listen, that will come. There's no way they don't see it, and Nuno and his staff don't see it. But it's like one step at a time, and that was one step firmly in the right direction.
Because another thing is as well, say if you turn teams, they've got the back to the play as well. And there's only one thing they can do if you're putting pressure on them is they either pass it to the goalkeeper or kick it out. Because if he comes short, and then we see it time and time again in the game, because the ball wasn't long enough, it was being headed down into the midfield area, they're picking it up, and all of a sudden that wave starts to come again from Chelsea coming at us. And that's what we've got to try and sort. If it's not on, put it over the top of them, turn them around, get them running towards their own goal, because there's nothing worse as a defender if somebody's chasing after you, going back towards your own goal.
You wouldn't fancy Traoré in a race.
No.
I wouldn't fancy Drake. No one would.
No.
Thiago, I don't care who you are, Rudiger, Neto ran the outside. Put any of them in a race, 20, 30 yards, there's a good chance that they'll get on the end of it. Or like you said, certainly win a throw-in or something.
Yeah.
Let's talk about two big opportunities that Wolves did have on the counter in that second half. First of all, Carlo Ikeme, Pedro Neto's scoop that just didn't quite drop in time. It came from Nelson Semedo stepping in and winning the ball. And you boys talked at half time about that need to get that release pass better. For once, it really did work. And Neto did brilliantly to craft the opportunity.
Yeah, it looked like the opportunity was lost for a second, and then it came back to Neto, and the goalkeeper was on him pretty quickly. So I think that's why he's gone for the scoop in the end. And unfortunately, it didn't drop. But we had little moments like that in the game where you kind of knew if we could get the quality right, we would be in on Chelsea, and that's what historically we've done over the last 18 months. But maybe sat back and defended and picked these passes well and created opportunities for our forward players. But unfortunate from Neto, could he have slid it through his legs? Possibly. In hindsight, when you're slowing things down, everything looks like you've got more time, but the keeper got on top of him pretty quickly. So I believe that's why he kind of went for the scoop. But I feel like we probably did have the better chances in the game, even though we had so little possession.
Well, what was going through minds? Sorry, Sam. When that last moment where Neto switches the play and all of a sudden Dendoncker looks like he's in acres of space, and it's only the pace of Hudson-Odoi, and maybe the first touch of Dendoncker takes it back a touch. If it had been out across in front of him, he's getting the shot away.
Yeah, definitely. It was like his first touch, and also it was Podence. Podence's ball to Neto, what we were just talking about, we're in front of him. I think Neto goes through, and then he can slide it. He got stuck under his feet. Dendoncker gets that touch in front of him. Hudson-Odoi can't get back at him. That's literally how close the Wolves were from winning the game.
Is that maybe an element, Tomo, of the situation Wolves have found themselves in? We've talked so much about the fact that in the past they've had Jota, they've had Jimenez, they've had clinical finishers up top. They've not been scoring goals of recent weeks, and maybe confidence has dipped a touch. And at the times, then it feels like luck is against you, because we're talking about real fine margins between the difference of coming away with what would have been a smashing grab, let's be honest, but a brilliant one at that.
Yeah, it would have been. So look, and again, you're coming up against a team that are really good in Chelsea, but it's been more clinical. And like you say, you're talking about Jimenez, you're talking about Jota. They only need a half chance. These players, and that's why they cost so much money. So because they can take those opportunities, and wherever they are around that penalty area, they always seem to give themselves an opportunity to be shooting a goal. And look, Dendonka's touch, if he's a little bit more in front of him, he's having a shot. Say Neto just got under his feet a little bit. Excuse me. But again, it's fine margins. It's all about fine margins, especially in that top third for me, where the important area is just trying to get a goal. But the big thing for me, again, building a base, going off that clean sheet, and again, always going to give you an opportunity to steal it. And we nearly did a couple of times in that game with Neto and Dendonka.
Bearing in mind as well with the Dendonka chance, it was pretty late on. He had covered a lot of ground, so you could kind of see it was a bit of a tired touch, if anything, as well. But I feel that so while I think as a team we might be struggling for confidence, maybe in front of goal, maybe for chances, I think the likes of Neto still looks like he's got that eagle eye. He's got that confidence that he's going to score. I think Neto is probably throughout this period of a bit of a stale patch. Is if he gets the ball, I'm thinking he can score. If someone goes through on goal, I want it to be Neto because he is clinical still. I feel that. Listen, 6 inches lower, it would have been underneath the bar as well. So I feel like we have got goals in Neto. Traore has showed more glimpses of being a bit more threatening, and with Fabio scoring against Albion and Jose coming in as well, I hope that the goals will come. But I think it's having the confidence that you can keep a clean sheet will ultimately breed more goals going forward as well.
We'll talk about Willian Jose in just a minute, but this probably isn't one for Keames. This is probably more for Tomo and Sam's remit. But the idea, we mentioned in commentary about being as mentally tired as you are physically tired when you've had to chase for such long periods. Just talk us through and give us an idea, boys, of what that is like for 93 minutes to be doing the kind of effort and work rate that those boys have done tonight.
I just think when you play top level, now whether it be a championship playoff final or Premier League, the Premier League, when you first come into it, mentally is draining. When you get into that top level, obviously at the end of the game, physically you are tired, but mentally, and it's the same if you ask any players. I used to speak to Dave Edwards about this quite a lot. He said the same. When he got to the Premier League, it would take him 3 or 4 days to recover mentally as much as anything, because your concentration has to be absolutely spot on. When you're playing against the likes of Hudson-Odoi out one side, and then they bring Pulisic on, you only have to be 2 or 3 yards out of position, and the pass inside will hurt you. You just have to be so concentrated the whole time. I don't know if, Tomo, you thought the same, but in all the big games, you come off mentally just drained more than anything.
But it's also as well, the longer you keep the clean sheet, the pride comes into it as well about making sure you keep the clean sheet. And that's the thing, is working as a team. And it can demoralise you if you've been working really hard, keeping the other team out, and then they concede. But the longer it goes on, the more focused you become. And okay, you're all more switched on, if you can understand what I mean, about the game, because you're keeping the team out from scoring. And again, it's that pride element as well. And they'll have come off today. And as a team, not just the back line, as a team, they've defended really well. And I said, like, you saw them at the end of the game, what they thought about that performance. They know that a point here is a good point. Okay, it wasn't the most attractive going forward, but the defending was really good.
We'll speak. Go on, carry on. Sorry, I was going to make a point, but I'll make it.
I feel also, just to cack on from that point, I feel like sometimes that you get them blood and thunder games where it's just all action, but sometimes it's the games where you know there's real quality on the pitch, and it might not necessarily that you're running up and down the pitch necessarily and it's end to end. It's sometimes that concentration of, you know, in the quality, you're having to think so much in the game about what they're going to do, the pass they're going to play, what position you need to be, can really, really take it out of you mentally and physically.
But it's your personal battles as well, isn't it? It's making sure you win the personal battles, that you don't give the advantage to the opposition. You don't give them opportunities, because you want to be the one taking the game to them rather than them keep coming at you. And I thought Semedo, even though he switched sides in the second half, I still think that he played really well.
Yeah, well, we'll come to that in a second because you mentioned personal battles. We're hoping to speak to Connor Cody very shortly, so stay with us here on Matchday Live Extra. It's that element where, look, Nuno has been very honest, Sam, in recent weeks and talked about the fact that, and we've all talked about the fact that it's been individual mistakes have often cost Wolves, that they've been punished for it. So for them at the end of that game to turn around and kind of say, well, look, it wasn't mistake-free 90 minutes. Of course, there will be mistakes from it, but they weren't mistakes that were punished. And that will be a big thing to take away from it.
Yeah, the big one is for me, they've limited the amount of efforts that Chelsea have had. If you're making mistakes, but the opposition are getting 10, 11, 12 decent opportunities, they will score. The Man United game, they were so unlucky. Deflection very late on in the game. Similar-ish performance where they were resolute for long periods of the game. And tonight, you do have to ride your luck a little bit. So the header right at the end, Jose heads it over, end of the game. When the luck isn't with you, and they earn their own luck because, like I said, they reduce the amount of opportunities the opposition have. But that does get headed over the bar. You get your clean sheet. But like I said, the big one is cutting down the amount of opportunities for the opposition to have an attempt on goal.
I don't know whether Carlo Ikeme agrees. As a goalkeeper, do you make your own luck? Goalkeeper's one of the most unluckiest positions around at times.
or you'd say that we make the most mistakes, but
when you make a mistake, though, Carl, it's usually a goal, isn't it? That's
the problem, and I think all that. Yeah, we have been unfortunate at times, but at times we haven't defended well. Just individual errors. We're cut out today, and the opposition, no matter who you play, you played the FA Cup on the weekend. They create chances. You're always going to get chances created against you. It's just like Sam said, limiting the chances and limiting. That will ultimately limit the mistakes. And when you're defending as a team, as we did, and you kind of see everyone not making them like little errors, them defensive errors, it breeds confidence with the rest of the defence. And I think it's probably, apart from maybe the last 10 minutes where you're worrying if you concede a goal, where I'm looking at Wolves at times and thinking, yeah, I feel pretty comfortable today. And I can't say I've said that many times in the past few weeks, where I've watched the game and thought, when we're defending, that we're comfortable. I didn't feel like it against Albion. I felt that Albion looked dangerous when they did get in around our box, and I've not felt it like in a lot of the other games I've watched this season. So I think that's how I felt last season when we were at our heights, that I was comfortable with us defending in our shape. But I suppose it's just getting back to that, and this will give the lads confidence to build.
Goes back to a point I've tried to make a couple of times, I guess, in recent weeks, where this theory, and I'd be interested your thoughts on it, especially Sam, from a managerial point of view, that there are two ways to control a game. Sometimes you can control it with the ball, you can control it without the ball. Clearly, Wolves didn't have the ball tonight, but as Carl has mentioned, and as all three of you have mentioned, didn't really feel like Wolves were under that much pressure. Chelsea were playing it across and trying to put balls in, but they were resolute and they controlled where they were happy for Chelsea to go.
And that's the biggest thing, I think, is to try and control a game, like you're saying. So I think for 95% of teams, it's easier to control the game without the ball. If you look at the obvious people you think of who control games with the ball, you think of Man City straight away. You think of Liverpool, but look at the players they've got. Look at the money they've had to spend. One, to be able to control the game with the ball. But secondly, it's hard to break a team down. Chelsea struggled tonight. For all their money they've spent, they struggled to break Wolves down. You need the top players in order to break a team down. So if you're going to control a game with the ball, you've got to have the best players. If not, soak up possession and hit teams on the break. It's an easier way to play unless you've got the big money to go and get the absolute best players.
I think also if we say as a Wolves point of view, if Wolves have been in blistering form going into this game. Would they have played like that? Possibly not. They might have taken a few more risks. So sometimes it's the form you're in at the time that you played a Chelsea team or a Man City team. Maybe Man City would be a lot more different because I think they're a lot more they are better in possession than Chelsea have. But as you're looking at Chelsea's team, they've got ball players that they want to pass the ball, they want to play it. Are Wolves at this moment of time going to outplay Chelsea team? Probably not. Would that have been a hindrance to us? Possibly. So you've got to do what's right for you at the time and of going into the game and how we're playing. And like Sam said, you can control the game in different ways. And I feel like if Wolves tried to control the game with a possession-based theory tonight, it would have backfired. So I feel that Nuno had got it right, and the lads got the tactics right as well.
Let's talk about Willian Jose then. On for his debut. He can't have had much time at all, really, with his teammates, with the coaching staff to try and talk him through it. But he is experienced at 29. He's played a lot of games at a very good level of football, and he provided something a little bit different, didn't he? What did we make of him, Tomo?
Yeah, so looks like he's a presence up there, isn't he? So look, we watched throughout the game where we've got the ball at the back with free kicks or goal kicks, and we've got no height up front. And we were struggling to actually hit the ball up to there because we were trying to pick out the pass rather than just kicking the ball up to a striker. Now, when we got Jimenez, that gives us a bit of an outlet where at least he's going to compete, and then we can try and get the second ball as well. But tonight, because we couldn't do that, we started playing everything short. Now, he's come on, Willian's come on, and all of a sudden we start to look at hitting that ball up to there. He got hold of a few of them. It was a nuisance up there, his presence up there. And what it does, it doesn't allow them to have free headers or head the ball back into our half. And again, it's still fresh for him. It's all new. But hopefully what we do see is that we got somebody up there as a target point who can actually cause a problem. And again, as you said, he's experienced up there, so he knows how to play up that line. Where we've got Silva, who's still a young lad, learning the game still. And look, he's going to learn off all these strikers that we bring in with experience. Okay, when Jimenez comes back, again, he's going to learn off him. But with Willian there as well, it's going to give him a little bit of a help up there to start with, but also as well, hopefully, to give him something to learn from him.
Yeah, I was encouraged with him, just by his physical presence as much as anything. And you could see later on in games, he's using his body to either hold it up, composure on the ball, to buy 2-3 free kicks, which he did to relieve pressure. Now, that was all today's sort of game. What we need to see from him going forward is, can he do that higher up the pitch? Can he be that goal threat as well? But for a 15, 20-minute outing, I thought he did really well.
Yeah, I suppose what we're not mentioning is the block at the end, which was important as anything at any moment in the game, let's be honest. So he looked good. And as soon as you have a real number 9, you can see the difference of how the defenders act. The defenders, the two centre-halves know that they've got a marking, where with Podence and Neto are always going to sort of be floating between lines where they kind of know they need to get up against him. So he brings a focal point. Some of his touches was nice as well, trying to bring the lads into play. From some clips that I've seen him, he looks experienced around the box. He looks to make good runs. Hopefully we'll see this in the coming weeks. But he done a job for us tonight. He looked like he knew an element of how we were trying to play when he come on in the defending elements. He wasn't trying to pressure the centre halves to try and close them down too much. The goalkeeper, when it was going back, he knew to stay in his shape, and it was a solid first 10 or 15 minutes from him.
He looks a strong boy, doesn't he? He looks like if you play the ball into him, he's going to hold it up. Doesn't care who he's up against. He'll hold him off.
It's that presence, Sam, isn't it? And you know, as a defender, as soon as you get a presence up there, it changes your mind frame. I know a Podence can cause you problems in different way, but especially when we're defending so deep, you kind of, you know, if a long ball comes up there against the Podence, you know you're just going to eat him, really. Yeah. Where with Jose, then you know that you have to be a bit more respectful of him, and you have to. He's going to use his body. He might get a free kick, or he might just pin you.
I think their defence will be wary, but also our defence will be as well, knowing that, hold on, we've got a 9 now. On that turnover, bang, we can go into him. So maybe that first pass, what we're talking about, goes into him. he might set back to Neves and then the ball goes in behind. It would be a big bonus. That.
Well, there was one moment, wasn't there, in the middle of his own half where he kind of held off 3 players and drew a free kick that enabled the pressure to ease. And the thing that stood out to me about it was kind of the composure that all those players around him in a difficult area, and it was like, I've been in this position many times before. I'm not going to lose it here.
Well, that's what we're talking about. He's got the experience, hasn't he? He's got the experience. He's played a lot of games. He's played a good league as well. And that's what we need. We need experienced players. And Nuno can look and turn around to the bench. And today, I think, was a prime example of what we had on the bench, that we do look a little bit stronger with people coming back. And again, he's brought him on. And I just thought that he gave us a presence up there, where I think throughout the game before that, because we didn't have any real height up there, their defenders, when the ball was played long, with us trying to push up the field, they were just heading it down into the midfield areas, and then it was just coming straight back to us. At least it gives us a little bit of a fighting chance of actually getting up the pitch a little bit higher.
I think before he came on, you could see every time Neto got the ball, Traore got the ball, Chelsea knew they were the threat, so they had 2, 3, 4 players on them straight away. As soon as he came on, like you said, he took possession of the ball. He attracts 2, 3, 4 players. Well, hold on, who's got the space now? Now Neto's got a bit more space. Now Traore's got a bit more space. That's the big one. Give them more space to go and do their athleticism.
Yeah, he looks like a cool cat, don't he? There's not a hair out of place. He looks calm. I can't see him lacking composure, this lad. He looks like he's got the experience. He looks quite calm. Obviously, I don't know him personally, but he looks like a calm and confident player, and it's someone that we've needed with Fabio. Not finding it difficult, improving, being so young, and with Jimenez out. So I'm looking forward to seeing him play more.
You can join in the conversation, by the way, hashtag Wolves Live on Twitter, at Mikey Burrows, at Wolves, to join the conversation. Say Connor Cody on the way very shortly. Carl Henry has been on Twitter saying an excellent defensive display at a well-deserved point, created the best chance of the game too, is the thoughts from Carl Henry. We'll get a few more. I know Nuno's been doing his press conference down below as he's just walked past a moment or so ago. Saturday then, Crystal Palace away. We've just been bigging him up. Do you throw him in to start, Willian Jose?
Yeah, I would. I feel like he's come on and done a job tonight, and I don't see why not. I think it would give him. He's got a couple of more days to get to know his teammates, as he's probably. I don't even know if he's trained with them yet. So I think against Palace, it'd be a game where Wolves will be thinking we can go and get the 3 points, and I think he'll be vital to us moving forward. He's fit, which is important already. You don't need to catch up on his match fitness, and I feel like you just chuck him straight in. He looks like he's got the quality and composure, so why not?
Okay, we'll come back to that because our special guest is waiting to join us here on Matchday Live Extra here on Wolves TV. We are going to head down, I think, to pitch side or maybe in the tunnel somewhere, and hear from the captain himself. Connor Cody joins us here on Matchday Live Extra.
Take that one off, mate.
Hello, Kim. How are you, pal?
How are you, mate?
It's lashing down here in the smoke, mate.
Forget London, mate. Forget London. Straight back to Liverpool. London, don't rain Liverpool, does it?
How are you, fellas? You okay?
Yeah, good.
How are you, and how are you all feeling? Because boy, did you have to work hard for that today.
Yeah, it was tough. But we always knew coming here, mate. It was something where obviously they've had a change of manager this week, so it's always, and you always have a little bit of a bounce going into a game. It's always one of them where you want to impress. So we knew it was going to be tough, and it always is coming here. You know what you're going to get, but we knew we had to defend. We've not been on the greatest of run, and we mentioned before and yesterday in training how big a clean sheet was, and it was massive for us. It was huge going into it, and listen, we put all our focus into it because it's something we can build on now.
Did you feel better with playing with that 3 at the back and against the Chelsea team? Because we just watched you as well when you've headed one and you've gone to the ground where you threw your body in front of it. How did you feel about that? Making sure that we did defend right, we kept that clean sheet. How important was that?
Yeah, I think it's huge, mate. We're always trying to get better. We're always trying to improve. But it's like anything in life. When you're so used to doing something, we've worked so hard for years on trying to perfect a certain way of playing. And listen, the lads have been fantastic at it. And we're always wanting to get better. We're always wanting to listen to the manager every single day because he has different ideas on how we want to play. But tonight is about going back to a back three. And like I said, I think it's like anything in life. It's not something that we prefer one or the other. It's just because we've done it for so long. We know our roles. We know our roles inside out. We know the players that we're playing with. We know the players that are next to us. We know the movements. We know what to do. And it's like anything in life. So it's something we really enjoyed playing tonight. And like I said, the big thing about tonight, and by the way, we could have nicked it at the end. I thought the chances were really, really unlucky from the boys as well. And the way they worked, it was fantastic. But the big thing about tonight for us was this clean sheet. We've not kept enough this season. And it's important we go back to that, to be honest with you.
Coach, I just thought you were back in the groove as a team. I just thought it was like the Wolves, not of old, but the resolute. You all knew your jobs really well. And I was thinking about you. I was thinking at the end of the game, we were talking about the clean sheet and the whole feeling. I thought, as a defender, you obviously tried to get one out of the way, but it just clipped you on the head as it went through. Willie Bully made a few great blocks. Max as well. You go in their dressing room feeling like you've scored a hat-trick, don't you, at the end of the game? Like that's your ultimate feeling. Like as a defender, you're like, whoa. We've had it tonight.
Oh, it's massive, mate. It's great to see you, by the way, Sam. It's great to see you.
I knew that.
Yeah, it's massive, mate. It's massive. And you know yourself as a defender, mate, the feeling of going in with a clean sheet, it's huge. We're not big on, for me, especially the other boys go up for corners. I'm not too fussed about scoring goals. It's just defending and helping the lads. Do you know what I mean? That's all.
You just score for England, lad, don't you? That's all you score for.
Well, I never mentioned that. You did.
See what happens when you push your up front, eh?
No, it's massive, mate. It's massive. You know yourself, and going into the change after the game, knowing you've got a clean sheet and knowing you've done your job for him, what you've set out to do. Because, like I said, that was the biggest thing about it tonight for us, making sure we kept zero, and we did, and it's something we can build on now. We said in the huddle before the game, the lads, that we've got a second half of the season. We're right in the middle of the season now. We've got a second half of the season. We want to build. We want to get better. We want to try and improve every single game. And listen, this is a real good starting block for us. Hopefully, we can build on it.
Coach, how difficult has it been over the past 6 weeks when some of your performances haven't warranted results at times? You've been unfortunate, just to think of Man United, Villa, a few of them games where you didn't deserve to lose them. How difficult has it been to keep the morale in the team when you might have had a few bad performances, but then you've had some good performances that didn't warrant the results as well, so things haven't really been quite going your way?
It's been tough, mate. It's been tough. You know yourself, Keems, when we've been part of this club, when you played football in the past, it's important, and we know in football that more games come thick and fast, and the good thing about football is you can go again a few days later or a week later. You know you've got another game to put it right. But for us, the big problem for us has been inconsistency. It's been something where we've been trying to adapt, we've been trying to learn new ways, and it's going to take time to get better, and that's the biggest thing for us, we're being inconsistent. So it's important we put that right. We learn from our mistakes because, listen, we're a team who's always learning. We've done that for years now under our manager. So we'll go in tomorrow, learn from our mistakes tonight and go again. And I think that's the biggest thing we can do because, like I said, we've never put targets on where we want to be. We never do that. All we want to do is improve on the last game. Now, this is a real starting block for us. It's something we can build on and get better. But it has been a tough few weeks, mate, because, listen, we're all human beings and we hate getting beat or we hate losing games or losing winning positions or whatever it is. So it's been a tough few weeks, but now we need to look forward and really build on this performance tonight.
Do you think that some of the new lads that have come in as well, Coach, need a bit more time to understand the formation and understand the way we play?
Well, it's been tough, mate, because obviously we've had a few injuries. So I think a couple of lads have played, obviously a lot more than usual. So it's been really tough, and plus we've been trying to learn new ways of playing as well. So, but it's up to us to help them. We know what it's like to be part of this football club for many years. We know the pressure of playing for this football club. So it's up to us to help. But listen, like I said, tonight's a real starting block for us. The last few weeks have been tough, but it's important that we look at them, we learn from them, because we don't want to go back into them last few weeks. We want to move forward as quickly as possible.
Connor, we mentioned the new boys. What about the newest of them? When did you actually get to meet him? When did he arrive?
Big Willie turned up last night. He came last night, and you know what? It's great to see him, mate. It's great to see him. He's a unit, isn't he? Big fella.
Good looking lad, any Codes?
I tell you what, he's a great looking fella. Smells lovely as well. Smells lovely. No, we've seen him last night, man. Do you know what? It's great to get him in. We've obviously knew that we signed him a few days ago or whatever it was, and it's great to see him to come on tonight. And I think you see his experience. You see what I love. He's trying to win free kicks. He's doing things like that. Do you know what I mean? It was one of them performances tonight, and he came on and gave us an awful lot. So it's brilliant. We'll help him improve. I don't know if he's going to understand me. To be honest with you.
No, mate, no one can understand you.
Nobody's going to understand. I was trying to talk to him. I'm telling Ruben to talk to him. So he's a great lad, mate. He'll fit in great. So we've got quite a lot of Brazilian, Portuguese lads, whatever it is. So yeah, no, he's a great addition. It's great to have him here.
And he produced a big block at the end as well.
Yeah, he did. He got his big bonds in the way, didn't he? Which was great. It was great. It was that was what the performance was about tonight. It didn't matter who it was. It was about trying to keep the ball out the net. And like I said, we spoke about that the last few days because we've gone away from that, and that's something we've always been built on. So now, brilliant. I'm absolutely made up to see him because he's a great lad as well.
Gives everyone a boost, doesn't it, coach? Especially defenders when you get a big number 9 coming on. You're like, come on, lads, let's see what you've got.
And you can launch the ball up to him.
I was going to say, you can get it up to him.
Deal with that big fella. But, he can make rubbish balls look into good balls, can't he? You know what it's like. Well, I certainly do. So,
You're saying Sam chucked a few rubbish balls up in his time, eh?
Many rubbish balls, many.
No, it's great, mate. It's great. And like you said, to see players like him come in is brilliant. I think he played last week as well for Sociedad, from what I followed, and he scored 2. So it's brilliant. So like I said, it's great to have him here.
Crystal Palace up next. You mentioned you've given yourself a platform now to build on.
Yeah, that's the most important thing, mate. It's the most important thing. It's something, like I said, going into the game was huge. And we look at the second half. We don't want to look back now. We don't want to look back on what's happened. We want to improve. We want to get better. And tonight's a good start for us. So we'll get in again tomorrow. We'll work hard. We'll look where we need to improve. And also look forward to the weekend.
By the way, are you saying that you're not going to go forward for corners anymore? Because I've been having to work out these stats all the time. You know I have. I'm counting down 1,012 days since you last scored for Wolves. I've got it all here all the time. Do I not need to bother with this anymore?
I'll tell you what, mate, you keep stitching me up with their numbers, don't you, and putting them out there. Stop putting them out there.
Mate. He's
People don't have to know them numbers. Just leave it. I'm happy with the job. I like hanging back. I like talking. Lads, sort of now you're going to do
He saves his legs. He's getting on a bit now. Save my legs. Say, go on, lads, you go on.
Yeah. Spot on, mate. Spot on. I'm trying to use my brain a little bit.
But you know why it is? It's because you're there going, oh, Sam, it's great to see you, by the way, Sam. You never said that about talking to me all the times you've come on.
Nobody does, mate. Nobody does.
I speak to you all the time. Last time we seen Sam, he was manager of Shrewsbury. We played them. So it's great to see you all, mate. Sorry about that, mate.
Mate, it's a really good performance tonight. Congratulations to you all. I know you'll be absolutely shattered coming home, but rest up and go well this weekend at Palace.
Thank you, fellas. Pleasure to see you all.
Take it easy, coach, man. Well done, mate.
Thank you.
Thank you, mate. Connor Cody, always great value joining us here on Matchday Live Extra. He's right, isn't he, Carl? It's that thing, and you can sense it maybe in kind of his body language and the way he talks that it's given them an awful lot, this result tonight.
Yeah, you could. I was just thinking the same. It's given them confidence. And I think that's what they need at the minute. They need a bit of confidence. They need confidence going into the games, that they can be resolute. And I think when I know he keeps saying, I don't want to look back at the start of the season. We just want to learn from what we've done wrong. And I feel that these kind of performances can make you look even more, even though we've been saying it for a while now, that we've got some really good players in this team, some really exciting players in this team. As long as we can be solid and give us chance to build off a platform and build off a style of play, that they can be excited about the future. Still, we're not on the slide. We're definitely on the up. It's just a bit of a transition, but this result, that sort of performance, as Sam said, when you're blocking things with your head, slide last ditch tackles and stuff like that, breeds confidence, and you can kind of see that they're going to take this into the Palace game. And he's excited for the Palace game now after that performance, where sometimes after you've had a bad result or a few bad performances, you're looking at the games on the corner and all of a sudden Crystal Palace looks like a real tricky game, and obviously it will be a tough game, but we're looking at that game thinking, yeah, we're going to go and win this game, or we've definitely got a good chance of winning.
You can just see a bit of belief coming back into them, can't you? As a team, Codes, his personality, he's always bubbly anyway, but belief in the team.
Yeah.
And we said about him, we spoke over Codes, and also the big man coming in up top is just another element of everyone's, this is better performance, we've got a better player on the pitch.
Yeah, it gives you options though, doesn't it? And you can mix it up a little bit. We've tried to play our way out of it. It just gives you another option. that you can change the delivery up to the front.
Last minute, boys. I'm going to give you a moment while I read out some tweets to think about a man of the match from the game tonight. Helen says Rui was again immense. Jacob says Connor played superbly today, and the defence as a whole was top notch. And James just simply says great point. So who should I pick on first? Carl Ikeme looks confident, like he's already made his selection. Who's your man of the match?
Do you know what? I was going to go for Semedo. I thought he defended well all game, came over and nullified Hudson-Odoi when he come on as well. And he was a real, I know we said it a lot, back to basics, just defend. And he just done that tonight. He just defended. He wasn't too concerned about going forward. He defended. And while I think Hudson-Odoi was their biggest threat, I feel that Semedo dealt with him in the second half really well. So I'm going to go for him.
Go on, Tomo.
I'm going to go for, well, it was close for Semedo, but Kilman. I think Kilman played well tonight. I think that first half especially, I think that he got some good tackles in interceptions. He was in the right place, which was important. And he followed that through with the second half as well. So, again, Semedo, I think, played well, but I'm just going to give it to Max Kilman.
Sam?
I was torn between Semedo and Willy Bolly, and as Keems give it to Semedo, I'll give it Willy Bolly. I thought he was excellent. The amount of headers, blocks from crosses, never put a foot wrong. One great tackle second half as well, which I loved when he took man ball, everything. So Willy Bolly for me.
Okay, really interesting choice.
Who's yours, Mikey?
I'm genuinely really torn between Bolly, Kilman, and Semedo. I
thought so.
I thought so.
I'll just knock him off this fence.
Well, no, because I was going to side with Keems and say Semedo, but Sam's reminded me of that Willy Bolly chance, that Willy Bolly tackle, where he just took everything out and made sure it was his. And because Keems has been trying to wind me up tonight, then it's going to go to
never. He would never do that to you. He wouldn't do that to you.
So thank you very much for Tomo for finally getting here.
It's a pleasure meeting you eventually. It's a pleasure meeting you eventually.
Thanks to Sam Ricketts, Carl Ikeme as well. Thanks to Connor Cody for joining us. And thanks to all of you for watching us as well. I mentioned right after that full-time whistle went, it might not have been pretty tonight, but Wolves needed to be gritty, and they got themselves a really well-earned point and something to take to Crystal Palace, which is when we will see you next here on Wolves TV.